Introduction. The ketogenic diet has become massively popular over the last few years and is here to stay. This is because, unlike other diet and weight loss fads, the ketogenic diet is scientifically proven to be sustainable and effective, and brings with it a whole host of benefits beyond that of quick weight loss. That's why many people choose to stick with the ketogenic diet long term, rather than just using it as a temporary weight loss program. Many popular diets work for weight loss in the short term, but unlike keto, few of them take into account your long-term health. They're often so restrictive and extreme in ways that are unnatural to the body's biology that they're difficult to maintain and inevitably lead to increased weight gain later on. The ketogenic diet is so different from these techniques that many people will tell you it changed their life. They profess that they feel so great they're sticking to ketogenic eating long term. Once they go keto, they never look back. While it's true many people are drawn to keto because it's so efficient for weight reduction, it turns out that this lifestyle does far more than that. The ketogenic diet is linked to reducing the chances of diabetes, relieving many kinds of inflammation, and regulating blood sugar and insulin levels. Keto is said to lower blood pressure, which reduces the risk of heart disease, kidney failure, and stroke. Studies have shown that keto is helpful to children with epilepsy and may be linked to improving other brain conditions such as Alzheimer's. In addition to all these huge health benefits, people who partake in the ketogenic lifestyle report feeling the best they've ever felt in their lives, with improved energy, enhanced mental focus, fewer mood swings, better sleep, and decreased anxiety. With all these benefits, who wouldn't want to go keto? Most of the things we've been taught in recent decades about dieting are wrong. We've been warned that eating any kind of fat is bad for our bodies, and that carbohydrates are the most important part of our diet. You may have even heard that you can't survive without high levels of carbohydrates. It's hard to undo this thinking after a lifetime, but when you're fully informed about the science of keto and its benefits, you'll begin to understand the flaws in these ideas and how the ketogenic way of eating is natural and healthy in the long term. Throughout this book, you'll learn all about the science of keto, how it interacts with your body in a natural way, and come to thoroughly understand how it works. From there, it becomes easier to see how and why so many people are choosing this high-fat, low-carb diet. This book is meant to act as a guide to beginning the ketogenic lifestyle. In the first part of the book, you'll learn the science of keto, what to expect as you begin your journey, and how to overcome common stumbling blocks along the way, such as the dreaded keto flu. You'll learn step by step how to deal with this rather large shift in lifestyle and be prepared for any challenges that come your way. Keto can be a very drastic change for some, but this book aims to give you the resources to ease into it slowly and information for how to sustain it long term. You'll learn all the fundamental keys to a successful ketogenic diet, such as how to track macronutrients and how to balance your carbohydrate intake properly for maximum health benefits. From there, you'll learn all about the right and wrong foods for keto, what foods can potentially sabotage your efforts, and tips for sticking to your eating plan. When beginning the ketogenic diet, and indeed over time, people encounter a range of concerns. We've included a chapter of frequently asked questions that addresses a lot of common questions people have while practicing keto. This includes troubleshooting how to overcome different experiences, health concerns, feelings, and challenges faced like dining out in restaurants, alcohol consumption, and bodily changes. A big part of the ketogenic diet is making food, but if you're not much of a chef, don't worry. The recipes are simple, and there are plenty of tricks for making sure you always have plenty of keto meals and snacks on hand to keep you on track. You'll also learn how to plan and prepare ahead of time, simplifying the whole process. The goal of this book is to educate those who are curious about the ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting. Whether you're drawn to it for weight loss or for the other health benefits, this book will walk you through everything you need to know to successfully integrate the ketogenic lifestyle into your own life. While there are many big changes you have to make in the beginning and some challenges getting started, there's a reason why so many people swear by keto. It works. So let's get started. Chapter 1. The Science of Keto. The ketogenic diet has been around for a long time. although its current surge in popularity might make it seem like a new concept. The ketogenic diet is based on the science of fasting, that is, abstaining from food as a means of treating disease. Fasting for healing has been around for thousands of years, although with the advent of modern medicine, it was eventually forgotten for the most part. However, it was through this very old healing technique that the ketogenic diet was discovered. In the 1920s, Dr. Russell Wilder of the Mayo Clinic studied how fasting had a large impact on children with epilepsy, significantly reducing seizures. While in a fasted state, the body stops using carbohydrates or sugar for energy, and instead turns to fueling itself with ketones. This is most commonly known as burning fat for energy. These ketones in the patient's bodies were responsible for the reduction of seizures. Dr. Wilder aimed to emulate this ketogenic state in patients by creating a diet that allowed for eating plenty of food but kept their body in this fasted state, producing the beneficial ketones. He created a high-fat, low-carb eating plan called the ketogenic diet. Some people to this day practice a ketogenic diet to control epileptic seizures. One of the noticeable side effects of the ketogenic diet was weight loss. The high-fat food satiates hunger while still bringing fast, noticeable results. To fully understand how the ketogenic diet works, you first have to understand how carbohydrates and ketones operate in your body. Chapter 2. Transitioning into the ketogenic diet. Now that you understand the basics of how carbohydrates and ketones work within your body, it's time to get ready to go fully keto. This chapter will walk you through the various ways you can begin, address the challenges, and teach you the best ways to successfully embark on your ketogenic journey. How to begin. It's often recommended that you ease slowly into the ketogenic diet, because the truth is, it's not always an easy transition to make. If you suddenly switch to a high-fat, low-carb diet overnight, your body is going to be in for a shock. Some people prefer to do just that, arguing that since the keto flu is unavoidable, they may as well get it over with as quickly as possible. If you are a very healthy individual and feel like you're ready to make such a giant leap into ketogenic eating, that's your choice. However, it's strongly recommended that you do at least a little bit of preparation first by implementing a few small changes in your diet bit by bit. Doing this increases your chances of success because when it comes time to start your new diet plan, the final shift into a ketogenic state will be a smoother one. On the ketogenic diet, you get only 5% of your daily food intake in carbohydrates. When you consider that the average diet is made up of 50% carbs, you can see just how big a change this might be. For those with the sweet tooth who are used to enjoying sugary treats, the difference is even more drastic. A simple way to get your body prepared is by making some small changes over time. You can do it over a period of weeks or stretch it out longer. The purpose of these changes is to make the shift into low-carb eating easier and lessen the symptoms of keto flu later on. The list is broken up into 1-week intervals, but you can stretch the timing out for longer if you want to. Week 1. Stop eating refined sugar. This means soda, candy, cake, cookies, and other sweets. This step on its own is a huge hurdle, considering the addictive nature of sugar. That's why it's first on the list to get rid of. The longer you go without sugar, the less you'll crave it. After a while, you will no longer get cravings for sweets at all. People who eat high amounts of refined sugar are sometimes the ones hit hardest by keto flu. So it's worth getting refined sugar out of the way ahead of time. Week 2. Eliminate pasta and potatoes. Many people eat pasta and/or potatoes at least once or twice a week. On the nights you'd normally eat pasta, go for a low-carb option instead, like pork chops, chicken, steak, or fish. Potatoes, including French fries, are usually served as a side dish. Replace them with an alternative like a salad, soup, or non-starchy vegetable. Some options are cauliflower, broccoli, or peppers. If you feel hungry without the potatoes, then you need to eat a bigger main dish, which should be something high in fat and protein to keep you full. Week 3. No more bread. This is a really tough one since bread is a staple in most of our pantries. If you're used to eating toast for breakfast, why not start having eggs instead? If your go-to lunch is a sandwich or wrap, think about replacing them with a lettuce wrap or deconstructing your sandwich into a healthy salad. Chop up your sandwich ingredients like meats and cheeses and put them in a bowl with some spinach or iceberg lettuce. Don't forget to add your favorite dressing. If it's tuna or chicken salad you crave, you can have them on their own, without the bread, with some avocado or celery sticks. Week 4. Get rid of grains. By now you'll be getting used to this new way of eating, so eliminating the last bit of grains from your diet might not be so hard. Rice, oatmeal, and quinoa are all common grains that will have to go. Replace these high-carb choices with healthy side dishes instead. You can try nuts and seeds, soups, or hearty salads. Even after eliminating all those foods, you're probably still eating well over 5% carbs each day. But you've certainly lessened the impact that making the switch to keto will have on your body. The keto flu. Now comes the hard part. Even though you're eating healthy, you will still have symptoms of the keto flu when you change your diet completely. In the next chapter, you'll learn how to officially begin the ketogenic diet, and that's when the flu is going to hit. Keep in mind that the keto flu only lasts a week or two. Here are some things you might experience. Fatigue and weakness. As your body gets low on carbohydrates, you'll feel tired and lethargic. Your body is expending most of its energy on using up glucose stores and then switching over to producing ketones. It's a lot of work for your system. Feeling exhausted is normal, so if you need to rest more often, do so if possible. It's also okay to skip a workout or two to allow your body time to adjust. Headaches and dizziness. Both problems come from dehydration and imbalanced electrolytes. Make sure you're drinking lots of water as discussed earlier and taking a supplement to lessen the intensity of these symptoms. The headache and dizziness are uncomfortable but usually go away within a few days. Nausea and intestinal issues. Nausea, constipation, and diarrhea sometimes occur during the keto flu. If you feel nauseous, consider a tea made from fresh ginger or mint. If you're constipated, try eating some high-fiber veggies and nuts. Diarrhea is also normal while undergoing a drastic dietary change and might be eased by eating a little more protein and avoiding caffeine. Constipation and diarrhea are both associated with dehydration, so make sure you're getting all the water you need. Muscle cramps. Muscle pain or cramps usually occur within the first week of starting the ketogenic diet. They're caused by dehydration and low levels of electrolytes. Again, drink enough water and consider a vitamin or electrolyte supplement. Keto breath. Almost everyone who embarks on the ketogenic diet reports a fruity, unpleasant taste in their mouth known as keto breath. During ketosis, the chemicals your body produces are released through your breath, sweat, and urine. You can combat keto breath by chewing sugar-free gum or by frequently using a gentle mouthwash. The good news is that keto breath doesn't last forever. As you become fully fat adapted over the coming months, this problem should diminish. Changes in urination. When you begin ketosis, your body flushes out ketones, causing you to urinate more frequently. You might also notice your urine smells different. Many people describe it as smelling similar to acetone or nail polish remover. These changes in urination are yet another reason to make sure you're drinking enough water to replace what's leaving your body. The intensity of keto flu varies from person to person, depending on many factors like metabolism, diet, and activity levels. Some people overcome the keto flu within a few days, while others take up to 2 weeks. You'll know you've made it through when you notice that you're starting to feel better. The lethargy will lift, any muscle cramps you had will stop, and so will the stomach problems. You'll also feel far less hungry. Being in ketosis. After the keto flu, you'll start feeling some or all of those benefits we discussed earlier. Increased energy, stronger focus, and decreased hunger. There are several ways to test your ketone levels to determine if you're successfully in ketosis or not. Measuring ketone levels is useful in the beginning, since it allows you to experiment with different foods to see how they affect your ketone levels. As you become keto adapted, these tests are no longer necessary because you'll know what works for you and what doesn't. Urine testing. The simplest and most inexpensive way to test ketone levels is through the urine. You can purchase keto strips at most pharmacies. Keto strips are small pieces of paper that change color when exposed to ketones. You put the strip in the stream of your urine and the paper changes color to indicate your ketone levels. There is usually a guide on the package indicating what each shade means. A dark color indicates high ketone levels, whereas a lighter color means lower levels. No color change at all means you're not producing ketones. Blood testing. You can purchase a blood ketone meter online or from some pharmacies. This method requires you prick your finger with a sterile lancet and use the device to test the blood. While this method provides a much clearer picture of your ketone levels than the color-coded urine strips, the meters can be on the expensive side. They also require you to prick yourself and draw blood, which not everyone is comfortable with. Breath testing. There are breathalyzer-style devices on the market that can accurately report your ketone levels using just your breath. You simply breathe into the device and it provides you with all the information you need. However, the accuracy of these devices can be impacted by chewing gum, toothpaste, vaping, and what you've been eating or drinking, so there are many variables that can throw off a reading. If you choose to get a breath tester, try using it first thing in the morning consistently each day before having any drinks or food to get an accurate reading. Maintaining ketosis. Once you've made it through the keto flu, it's all about maintaining your ketogenic state. You may have heard people express concern about going out of ketosis by eating certain foods. The ketogenic state can be affected or even sabotaged by eating too many carbohydrates. The key to a successful ketogenic lifestyle is sticking to a balanced diet that makes your body keep producing ketones. Too many carbs, and your body will naturally want to use those for fuel instead of fat. When this happens, it's referred to as getting knocked out of ketosis. In the beginning, this is one of the biggest problems. Most diets allow for a bit of cheating here and there, and after a little while, when you're fully fat adapted, you can also cheat now and again without destroying your ketone levels. However, it takes around 12 weeks to reach this point, so in the beginning, try hard not to give in to cravings. Ketosis versus fat adapted. Ketosis occurs in the first few weeks of your diet. Fat adaptation, sometimes called keto adaptation, can take anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks to occur. While in ketosis, you can bring yourself out of a ketogenic state quite easily by eating just a few too many carbs. But when you're fat adapted, it means your body has become fully accustomed to using fat for fuel instead of sugar. Fat adaptation is considered far more stable than ketosis, and therefore harder to ruin by eating a few too many carbs on occasion. In this state, some people discover they can slightly increase their carb intake and still be fat adapted. Put another way, if they indulge in a sugary treat on occasion, it won't destroy their diet or ketone levels. The amount you can wiggle your carbs around is different for everyone, so it's important to start slowly and monitor how you feel and your body responds. Some common indicators that you've reached fat adaptation are that carb cravings are significantly reduced or completely gone, you're hungry less frequently, and your sleep is improved. Chapter 3. All about ketogenic eating. Ketogenic eating is a new and unique approach to food. While it can sound restrictive at first, once your body adjusts and you form new habits, you'll discover that it's much easier than it sounds. There are some basic rules of eating ketogenically, and once you understand them, you'll be able to begin your diet. Tracking macros. The term tracking macros means to record the amounts of macronutrients you're ingesting each day. The ketogenic diet is 75% fat, 20% protein, and 5% carbohydrates. For a 2,000 calorie per day diet, this translates to roughly 165 grams of fat, 75 grams of protein, and 40 grams of carbs. The best way to track your macros is to use an app as explained in Chapter 1. Your app will tell you both the percentages and the gram measurements of fat, protein, and carbs. When you begin, be sure to take the time to enter everything you eat into the app so you can maintain this balance of macros. Consistency is required to successfully get your body into a state of ketosis. Most apps require you to enter portion sizes to give an accurate reading, So it's a good idea to measure and weigh your portions while preparing meals for the sake of accuracy. Trying to guess how many grams or ounces you're eating creates a high chance of overeating and throwing off your macros. It will take a little bit of time to get used to tracking everything you eat and keeping your macros within the recommended percentages. It can be especially easy to slip into having too much protein and not enough fat on the keto diet. The high-fat, low-carb recipes in this book are designed specifically to help you maintain your macros. Protein. Eating too much protein is a common mistake because keto usually involves a lot of meat. Protein helps keep you feeling full and is imperative to building muscle. However, too much of it can ruin your ketogenic balance. Your body can sometimes turn excess protein into carbohydrates in a process called gluconeogenesis. This is the complete opposite of what you want. While actually triggering gluconeogenesis requires extremely large amounts of protein, it's still useful to keep in mind if you're eating large amounts of meat. Fat. Contrary to what we've been taught by the diet industry over many decades, not all fat is bad for you. In fact, your body and brain need fat to function properly, so long as it's what's called healthy fat. Healthy fat includes polyunsaturated fats high in omega-3 and 6, saturated fat, and monounsaturated fat. These healthy fats are found in fish and meat, certain oils, and avocados. There is, of course, such a thing as bad or unhealthy fat. It's these artificial trans fats and hydrogenated oils that will harm your health by raising bad cholesterol, increasing the risk of heart attack, stroke, and weight gain. Some ketogenic diets do allow the consumption of these junk fats, which can be found in many common products like vegetable oil and canola oil. However, the recipes in this book are aimed at consuming healthy fats instead. Carbohydrates. Tracking carbohydrates is slightly different from the other two macros on keto. You have to calculate not only your total carbs, but your net carbs. Total carbs are the entire sum of all the carbs you have eaten, including sugar and fiber. Carbs that come from fiber aren't absorbed into your body the way that sugar is. This means that carbohydrates from fiber will not impact your ketogenic state. Fiber is also a very important part of your nutrition and digestive health. Total carbs versus net carbs. At the end of the day, it's your net carbs that really matter on keto. When you look at a nutrition label on food, carbohydrates are broken down into grams of sugar and fiber. Your app will tell you how many grams of fiber you've ingested each day. To get your net carb count, subtract the grams of fiber from your total carb intake for the day. The resulting number is your net carbs. For example, your total carbohydrates for the day is 30 grams. 5 grams are from fiber. 30 grams minus 5 grams equals 25. Your net carb intake for the day is 25 grams. Tips for accurate macro tracking. Measure your food portions with a scale to prevent overeating or inaccurate tracking. Don't procrastinate on entering foods into your app. It's tempting to tell yourself you'll do it later, but if you forget, your numbers will be thrown off. Avoid restaurants and takeout at first. This is tough, but it allows you to measure your portion sizes as well as monitor ingredients. When eating out, there's no way to know what dishes contain hidden carbohydrates and sugar. Be patient. It takes time to get the balance of fat, carbs, and protein just right, so stick to it, and it will become easier over time. Go easy on yourself. If you make a mistake and accidentally eat too many or too few macros, don't panic or beat yourself up. Just put yourself back on track and keep going. Vegetarian keto. Many ketogenic diets are heavy on meat and dairy products, but that doesn't mean it's impossible to go keto while vegan or vegetarian. Keto without meat is a little more challenging, however, and you have to get extra creative with your food choices. Plant-based diets usually get protein from legumes and whole grains. With meatless keto, legumes and beans are off the table due to their high carbohydrate content. That means protein and fat has to come from plant-based oils like coconut, olive, and avocado, along with nuts, seeds, and tofu. There are some meatless recipe options later on in this book. Even if you're not strictly vegan, sometimes it's nice to take a break from meat and try something new. Your keto pantry. Rather than thinking about all the things you can't eat while doing keto, try to focus on what you can. After all, there are so many choices. Below is a list of some examples of what you can expect to be eating. This list doesn't include every single item, but it will give you a general idea of what to look forward to. Meats and fish. It's recommended that you stick to high-fat cuts of meat, but that doesn't mean you can never eat lean meat like chicken breast or whitefish. It just means when you do eat lean meats, you need to prepare them in a way that adds fat content. Here are some fatty meat suggestions: salmon, sardines, and mackerel. Poultry, especially the dark meat of legs, thighs, and wings. High-fat beef like ribeye, flank steak, New York strip steak, and skirt steak. When choosing ground beef, avoid lean or extra lean mince. Packages of ground beef are labeled with what's called a lean point, which is the ratio of lean to fat meat included in the mince. 73:27 is the fattiest, and 96:4 is the leanest. Pork ribs, boneless pork ribs, bacon, pork belly, pork blade roast, pork center loin roast, and wheat-free sausages. Vegetables. There are plenty of low-carb veggies that are full of fiber and necessary nutrients. Dark leafy greens like kale, spinach, and bok choy. Cruciferous veggies like cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and collards. Turnips and rutabagas, avocado, radishes, tomatoes, green beans, eggplant, cucumbers. Fruits. While there are certainly restrictions on fruit on a ketogenic diet, there are still a few that slip under the radar and can be eaten in controlled amounts. Blueberries, watermelon, lemons and limes, strawberries, tomatoes, raspberries. Oils. You're going to discover that oil is a big part of your ketogenic diet. Oils are responsible for keeping the fat content of your diet high. They keep you feeling full and provide lots of flavor for your recipes. Here are some ketogenic-friendly oils: high-quality extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, MCT oil, macadamia oil, ghee. Dairy products. Dairy products like eggs, cream, and butter factor quite heavily into most ketogenic diets. Dairy products provide both fat and protein. Eggs, high-fat milk and cream, butter, cheese of all kinds, full-fat yogurt, non-dairy milks that are keto-friendly are unsweetened almond and coconut milk. Sweeteners. Although sugar isn't eaten on the ketogenic diet, there are alternatives. You can add these sweeteners to coffee or tea and use them in baking too. They're available in granular, powdered, and liquid form. Stevia, erythritol, monk fruit. Condiments. We can't overlook the importance of condiments and how much flavor they bring to our meals. Many condiments are high in sugar, but it's possible to find low-carb replacements. Aside from that, there are many low-carb condiments to keep on hand. Mayonnaise, choose a brand with low carbs. Mustard, low-sugar ketchup. Be sure to check the label. Regular ketchup is high in sugar. Marinara sauce, guacamole, Caesar and ranch dressing, sugar-free vinaigrette dressings, Alfredo sauce, hot sauce, low-sugar salsa. Homemade is best since it will have no hidden sugar. Foods to avoid. You probably understand at this point what foods to avoid while going keto, but here's a quick list just in case. Most fruit except certain berries, bread, pastries, candy, cake and cookies, soda, fruit juice, pasta, rice, oatmeal, quinoa, breakfast cereals, wraps, tortillas, potatoes, sweet potatoes, corn, chips and crackers, croutons. Stock up on supplies. You're going to discover that your ketogenic diet requires some new ingredients that you might not have on hand. There are also many things that can be used to replace carb-heavy favorites. Here are some items you'll encounter while preparing ketogenic food that might be new to you. Pork rinds. Pork rinds are crushed and used in place of breadcrumbs in many recipes. They can also take the place of chips or crackers when you crave a salty, crunchy snack. Almond flour. Almond flour will replace regular flour in any recipe that needs it. Be sure to choose blanched almond flour, not almond meal. Almond flour is high in protein and fat, as it's literally just finely ground almonds. Coconut flour. Coconut flour is often used in baking to replace regular flour. Xanthan gum. Xanthan gum takes the place of thickening agents like cornstarch or flour. Xanthan gum can be replaced by ground psyllium husk, ground flax in water, unflavored gelatin, and more. Cauliflower rice. You can make your own cauliflower rice as described later in this book, or purchase it packaged. This is a staple you'll use again and again. Shallots. Onions are high in carbs, so are used sparingly in keto recipes. A good substitute is shallots, a lower carb option with an onion-like flavor. Parmesan cheese. Parmesan is used often in keto cooking, especially for breaded items, and is present in many keto recipes. Sweeteners. If you take sugar in your coffee or tea, be sure to have some stevia or erythritol handy. You'll also need these if you plan to bake ketogenic desserts. Now you know the basics of what your new diet is made of. As you can see, there are tons of delicious options, and you'll soon discover that there are thousands of keto recipes out there to try, even if you don't enjoy cooking or are an inexperienced chef. Keto meals are usually very simple and fast, although there are some fancy recipes out there for those who love to cook. While the list of foods that aren't allowed can seem like a lot, the great thing is that once you're used to the ketogenic diet, you really do stop craving them. Before long, you won't even miss them. You'll be enjoying nourishing, healthy, unrefined foods that are excellent for your body, brain, and lifestyle. Chapter 4. Intermittent fasting. If you've been in the world of dieting and fitness for any length of time, you've probably heard the phrase intermittent fasting. This is an eating technique that has gained great popularity lately right alongside the ketogenic diet. That's because keto and intermittent fasting complement each other quite well and can be practiced at the same time with very few challenges. What is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is what it sounds like: fasting, or abstaining from food completely for specific periods of time while eating normally the rest of the time. While most of us have been taught to graze all day and consume many small meals, some people find that intermittent fasting has been one of the best diet choices they've ever tried. This could be because, contrary to what we've been taught, intermittent fasting is actually quite natural. The theory is that early human beings ate this way and were accustomed to periods of not eating. After all, they had to hunt and gather all their food. They didn't have grocery stores or a cupboard full of options to choose from. This would mean most of their time was spent finding and preparing food, and then once it was ready, eating until satiated. The human body is designed to easily go between what's called a fasted state and a fed state, because there were often periods of food scarcity. When food was plentiful, they ate as much as they could. This means that the human body was accustomed to going into a fasted state and burning its own fat rather than glucose. Since our bodies are designed to follow this pattern, it makes sense that many people feel like they're operating at their absolute peak functionality while intermittent fasting. Remember, burning fat produces ketones. The production of ketones is what the ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting have in common and are the reason they pair up so well. While you're intermittent fasting, you alternate between the fasted state and the fed state. During the fed state, your body's focus turns to digesting and processing food, specifically turning carbohydrates into energy for several hours. On a common modern diet, you'd burn less fat during those hours. However, while eating a ketogenic diet, you burn fat even while you're in the fed state because there are so few carbs to slow down the process. Not all fasting plans restrict carbs. Many people eat whatever they want while intermittent fasting and still reap the health benefits and lose weight. It just so happens that once you're keto adapted, adding intermittent fasting to your routine becomes much easier. People who practice intermittent fasting report the same health benefits as those who are on the ketogenic diet, such as increased energy, improved mental focus, and decreased appetite. Like keto, fasting is linked to treating inflammation, lowering blood sugar, helping prevent cardiovascular disease and even lengthening your lifespan. Fasting is also said to help prevent cancer, although research about this is still in the early stages. It's definitely not mandatory to combine keto with intermittent fasting, even though it sounds like everyone is doing it. Fasting is not for everyone, so if the idea of abstaining from food just isn't for you, or you have health conditions that make this an unhealthy choice, don't feel pressured to do it. Methods of intermittent fasting. There are a few different ways to practice intermittent fasting, some more extreme than others. Below you'll find some of the better-known methods. 16-8. With this method, you eat for 8 hours and fast for 16 hours. This is one of the most popular ways to fast since it's the least extreme. You get to eat every day, whereas on some other fasting plans, you don't. People time this fast so that they spend most of their fasted state sleeping, and then choose their eating window according to what works best for their lifestyle. Some people prefer to eat later in the day, so they would place their eating window for 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. This means they would essentially just skip breakfast and then eat the rest of the day. Someone who feels they just can't function without breakfast would time their eating window differently, say from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can put your eating window at any time you choose, which is what makes 16-8 the most flexible form of intermittent fasting. Alternate day fasting. Alternate day fasting is more extreme than 16-8 because it requires going 24 hours without food several times a week. The way this fast works is that one day you'll eat as you please according to your dietary needs, and then the following day eat nothing at all except water, tea, or coffee. Then you repeat this pattern. This, of course, leads to weight loss since you're consuming far fewer calories, although not everyone who fasts is doing it to lose weight. This method is best for people who have experience with intermittent fasting. 5-2. With the 5-2 method, you eat your regular diet 5 days a week, and on the other 2 days only consume minimal calories. The recommended caloric intake on these days is 500 for women and 600 for men. This technique somewhat softens the harshness of going a full 24 hours without any food, while still integrating 2 fasting days into the week. Longer fasts. Some people prefer to do a longer fast once every few months, which is usually 2 or 3 days long. Some people approach this as a cleanse rather than a diet. Not eating any food for 2 or 3 days is difficult, and certainly best suited for someone who has experience with other fasting methods and has grown accustomed to them. When a longer fast like this ends, there are precautions to take when reintroducing food to your body, such as beginning with juice for a day before moving on to solid foods. Choose your own way. Some people find that fasting for 24 hours per week is plenty to reset their system and give them the desired results. Some people fast for 24 hours once a month. Others take the model of 16-8 and shrink their food window down to 6 or even 4 hours per day. Ultimately, you have to find a balance that works for you, that fits your life, and that leaves you feeling good. What to expect with intermittent fasting. If you're already on the ketogenic diet and fully fat adapted, easing into intermittent fasting is quite simple. Your body is already producing ketones, so there isn't the same fatigue, hunger, and irritability some people experience while starting a fast on a high-carb diet. It's strongly recommended that before embarking on an intermittent fasting plan that you become fat adapted and fully comfortable with the ketogenic diet. Things to consider. When it comes to intermittent fasting and deciding whether or not to try it, many factors come into play. It comes down to what's best for your lifestyle, schedule, and personal preferences. Find the right technique. Your lifestyle and habits factor heavily into which type of fasting will work best for you. If you're someone who's always on the go and can't stick to a strict eating schedule, a method like 16-8 might not work for you. For 16-8 to be successful, you must eat only within the designated window of time, and this just isn't possible for everyone. If that sounds like you, it might be easier to do either alternate day fasting or the 5-2 method. Neither of these have a strict daily time schedule you must follow, leaving you free to eat whenever you want, except on fasting days. If your lifestyle revolves around set meal times, for example, you value eating dinner with your family every night, 16-8 would be a better choice. That way you can time your eating window with your own schedule. 16-8 is also good if your workplace has set lunch breaks or if you just prefer to have a predictable daily routine. Experience matters. People who have fasted before tend to handle longer fasts with ease. If you're a complete beginner, it's best to try 16-8 to start. If you find you enjoy this one but want something different, the next logical step would be 5-2, which will eventually ease you into alternate day fasting, if that's the goal. It's okay to start slow and work your way up to the more extreme methods, and your body will be happier as well. It can be uncomfortable. Once you are accustomed to intermittent fasting, you tend to no longer notice feelings of hunger during your fasted state. However, in the beginning, skipping a meal or a whole day's worth of meals can be difficult to get used to. Some common things you might experience at first during your fasted times are irritability, hunger pangs, and cravings. These are significantly reduced when you're keto adapted. Either way, these feelings tend to go away over time. People will have opinions. How you choose to eat is entirely a personal choice, but unfortunately that doesn't stop people from weighing in and offering unsolicited advice or critique. Sometimes this comes from a place of concern because they worry that fasting or keto is unhealthy. Other times you'll find people arguing about the right and wrong way to do the ketogenic diet. Take the things you read in the comment section with a grain of salt and do your own research from credible sources. Easing into it. Like any extreme change in diet, it's important to approach fasting bit by bit. Easing into it slowly makes it go smoother and will lessen unpleasant symptoms like irritability and headaches. Before going all in, try skipping breakfast for a week. This will get you accustomed to the change in routine and help your body get used to not eating first thing in the morning. It will also be a good indicator of whether or not fasting is for you. If you discover you're extremely miserable skipping a single meal, even after a couple of weeks, you might not want to take this route. If you find that your body and mind become adjusted to skipping a meal, the next step is to also eliminate any nighttime snacking you're accustomed to. This shaves off just a wee bit more eating time, shrinking your eating window a little more. Remember that you can make up for the calories you missed during your eating window. From here, you can ease right into the 16-8 method, placing your eating window within the designated 8 hours. Tips for intermittent fasting. There are going to be times that fasting is challenging, even after you've become mostly accustomed to it. This is normal, and there are a few things you can do to make the fasted state a little more comfortable. If your fasting window is in the evening, some decaffeinated tea can curb hunger, such as chamomile or mint. If you fast in the morning, coffee and green tea both have appetite-suppressing qualities. But remember, they're caffeinated. Remember to stay hydrated. This will prevent headaches and other undesirable side effects. Go easy on working out during fasting days. It's okay to rest and recharge. During your feeding window, stick to nutrient-dense, healthy food. These will serve your body better as you go into a fasted state, keeping you feeling good for longer. Intermittent fasting can be an excellent way to lose weight and reap many health benefits. When combined with the ketogenic diet, you are set up to be a high-functioning, fat-burning machine. Chapter 5. Frequently Asked Questions. In this chapter, we're going to go over some of the most common questions people ask when considering starting the ketogenic diet or intermittent fasting, as well as some concerns people encounter while they're practicing these methods. Here you'll hopefully find any information that was missing in the previous chapters that you might have on your mind. Q&A for keto. Can I drink alcohol while doing the ketogenic diet? Yes. You can consume certain types of alcohol while on a ketogenic diet, specifically low-carb choices. Vodka, gin, rum, whiskey, and tequila have no carbohydrates, but remember to avoid juice and soda when choosing a mixer for these liquors. Carbonated water and flavored seltzers are a popular option. Red and white wine and some low-carb beers are okay to consume as long as you factor the carbohydrates into your daily count. A single glass of red or white wine contains about 4 grams of carbs. Steer clear of regular beer, sweet wines, mead, and all mixed drinks like piña coladas or cosmopolitans. All of these contain sugar and hidden carbohydrates. Should a pregnant person do the ketogenic diet? No. There hasn't been sufficient research done regarding pregnancy and the ketogenic diet to declare it safe. A baby needs carbohydrates to grow, and lacking glucose can lead to nutritional deficiencies in the infant and the mother. It's just too risky to try without more evidence and could lead to serious problems. Does my sweat smell worse on keto? It can. Just as there's a funky smell when ketones are released through your breath, the same can happen through your sweat. Be sure to shower regularly, especially after exercise, and wear deodorant. The good news is that this side effect tends to diminish for most people after they become fat adapted. Can I cheat once in a while? Once your body becomes fat adapted, which can take anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks, it will have become accustomed to using ketones as fuel. It will be better able to make the switch between processing glucose to processing ketones. So if you do have a piece of birthday cake or enjoy pizza one night, your body will quickly use up the extra carbs and then revert right back to burning fat without a problem. You can cheat every so often, but it's best to wait until you've been doing keto for a while so that it doesn't interfere with your progress. If you do happen to slip up in the beginning, don't give up. Just go back to your diet plan afterwards and carry on. Do I have to count calories? Whether or not you wish to count calories depends on your reasons for doing the ketogenic diet. Since it's so high in fat, it can be all too easy to eat very large amounts of calories. If your goal is to lose weight, it's a good idea to pay attention to how many calories you're consuming, but more important to take note of how you feel. You can maintain a state of ketosis without an extreme calorie deficit. So if you're noticing positive changes even though you're consuming higher calories than on other diets, don't worry about it. If you hit a weight loss plateau, which means you stop seeing progress or your weight loss halts, you might want to consider a calorie temporary deficit. People who follow the ketogenic diet for reasons besides weight loss don't typically count calories. What is a fat bomb? Fat bomb is a phrase you'll encounter when you get into baking ketogenic recipes. It refers to a small snack, usually a dessert, that has a very high fat percentage. People will sometimes grab a fat bomb to bump up their fat percentage for the day, or to eat as a quick, bite-sized filling snack. Can I exercise normally while doing keto? Yes, you can. At first, while your body transitions into ketosis, working out might seem harder than normal. Most of your energy is going into switching from burning sugar to burning fat. If you're hit especially hard by the keto flu, it's okay to take a break from working out during that time. Once you are feeling better, you'll probably discover that you have more energy than ever to put into your workout. Should I be alarmed by the calorie count in keto recipes? It's true that some ketogenic recipes are extremely high in calories since they contain so much fat. If you're concerned about weight management, you might want to be careful about calorie consumption. However, if you're doing keto for other reasons and you don't notice any difference in your weight or health, don't worry about it. You will be less hungry on keto than normal and snacking less, so having a calorie-dense meal doesn't have the same impact as on other diet plans. Is keto a suitable diet for building muscle? Yes, low-carb diets are followed by many people trying to build muscle. People who are interested in seriously increasing muscle mass might follow a low-carb diet with more protein than keto recommends. Can kids or teenagers do keto? It's not recommended that teenagers or children do the ketogenic diet to lose weight unless advised to by a doctor. Some children follow a ketogenic diet plan to help treat epilepsy, again under close watch by their doctor. Can I use saccharin, aspartame, or other chemical sweeteners? You can use some of these artificial sweeteners without any real repercussions. However, try to keep it to a minimum. If you can, stick with natural options like stevia. Aspartame, saccharin, and various artificial sweeteners have been linked to weight gain and other health issues in some studies, although in small amounts they're considered safe. What is lazy keto? Lazy keto is the term used by people who loosely follow the ketogenic diet but don't track macros or spend much time meal planning. Sometimes with lazy keto, a person will track only carbs and not measure fat or protein. While this works for some people, it makes it harder to maintain your ketogenic state. On the upside, it allows for more freedom in food choices because you don't have to worry about macros. What is dirty keto? Dirty keto is a lot like lazy keto, only it also allows the consumption of highly processed food and fast food. This means that the quality of fat ingested is usually compromised, since so many processed foods contain polyunsaturated fat and trans fat. You can certainly maintain a ketogenic state while consuming these foods, but you won't feel as good as you do when eating healthy, natural food. Why do I have heartburn on a ketogenic diet? How can I make it better? If you have heartburn on keto, it could be caused by the sudden drastic change in diet and is probably only temporary. If it lasts longer than a few days, it could mean that your stomach is having trouble breaking down your food. You could try mixing a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar with a glass of water to ease heartburn, or it's fine to take an antacid for relief. Q&A for intermittent fasting. Who shouldn't try intermittent fasting? People who are pregnant or breastfeeding, under the age of 18, who have a history of disordered eating, or who are underweight shouldn't try intermittent fasting. Fasting has also been known to increase symptoms of anxiety and depression. Before beginning any form of fast, be sure to talk to your doctor about it, especially if you have existing health conditions or are taking any medication. Can I add dairy or sweeteners to coffee and tea while fasting? That is entirely a personal choice. While some purists will choose to have absolutely nothing but water during their fasting times, others allow black coffee and tea. Others still add dairy or sweeteners to their drinks. The argument against dairy or sweeteners in drinks while fasting is that they contain calories that your body must process instead of being fully fasted, which interferes with the metabolic process of the fast. However, ultimately it's up to you. Many people include cream and sweetener in their tea or coffee with no notable issues. I've been intermittent fasting for weeks, but I'm still hungry. What should I do? Becoming adapted to intermittent fasting is different for everyone. Some people report not feeling hunger after only a week of starting intermittent fasting, while others struggle for much longer. If you're finding that you are really unhappy with how you feel during a fast, remember it's not a mandatory part of the ketogenic diet, and you can stop anytime you want. Fasting isn't for everyone, and that's okay. Can I work out while in a fasted state? Once you've become comfortable with the intermittent fasting, you can do all the same things as usual, including working out. Some people choose to time their workout at the very beginning of their fasting time so that they're full of nutrients and have lots of energy. It's also important to remember to drink lots of water, as you're prone to dehydration during a fast. If your fast lasts longer than 24 hours, it's not recommended that you exercise during that time. Do I have to stick to the eating window perfectly all the time? That depends on the method you've chosen to follow. When it comes to 16-8, it's important to keep to that rhythm as consistently as possible. If you stray from your time frame too much, it will stop your body from getting the maximum benefits. If you have trouble keeping to this strict schedule, you might consider a different method like 5-2 or alternate day fasting, which don't have a strict daily schedule. I can't sleep while fasting. What should I do? It can be hard to sleep when your body is focused on finding food. We're designed to prioritize eating above other functions, and sometimes that includes sleep. You might find yourself lying there in bed for hours with your stomach grumbling. Lack of sleep can have all kinds of negative impacts on your physical and mental health, so it's important to address this. Adjust your eating windows so that you are always full at bedtime. Or if you're doing a method that involves 24 hours of not eating, consider the 5-2 method. On 5-2, you can eat 500 to 600 calories on your fasting day, so you could try having your calorie allowance near bedtime. It's important to choose a fast that is healthy for you and complements rather than complicates your life. How can I combat irritability while fasting? Feeling irritable is a natural reaction to hunger. It's worse for some people than others. If you're practicing the ketogenic diet along with fasting, it will lessen the symptoms of irritability. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Keep yourself active and distracted, or consider having some bone broth. If you notice severe irritability, anger, depression, or anxiety while fasting, you should discontinue it. Don't neglect your mental health for the sake of fasting. Chapter 6. Ketogenic Cooking and Meal Planning. Frozen and processed food just don't complement the ketogenic diet, which means spending some time in the kitchen. Even if you don't consider yourself a chef, don't worry. Keto recipes are often very simple and have only a few ingredients. The trick with keto cooking is to plan ahead. Making sure you have enough snacks and meals ready ahead of time will go a long way to ensuring your success and avoiding any mistakes. In this chapter, we're going to discuss some of the basics of meal planning and learn how to make cooking for keto a little easier. It's extremely helpful to take time to plan out your meals and snacks for the week, and then make as many of them ahead of time as you can. While there are some main dishes that need a bit of work at mealtime no matter what, you can make your snacks, bread replacements, and desserts in one day and then eat them throughout the week. Many keto recipes make food that will last for at least a few days or longer. To make your meal plan, you will want to consider various factors: daily calories if you count them, macros, food preference, and your schedule. Later in this book, there are a range of recipes from which to choose your meals. Some recipes take a little more work than others, so you'll need to consider how much time you have when planning. To figure out your calories for each day, you will have to do some math. While planning out your options, write down a breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, and dessert you'd like to eat in a day. Then add up the calories and macros per serving, which are listed with the recipes. These quick calculations will ensure that your food choices support your goals. If you add up your choices and find there are too many calories or carbs, try switching out a snack or side with another one until you find the balance. It takes a bit of time, but over the coming weeks you'll come to know which meals work together in one day and which don't. Tips for meal planning. Take advantage of leftovers. Leftovers are a ready-made meal with no work except popping it in the microwave. You can eat the same dinner twice in a row or eat the leftovers for breakfast. Some people find that dinner leftovers make a quick and easy lunch to have at work the next day when they're strapped for time. Make a shopping list. Most of the ingredients in ketogenic recipes are fresh produce like dairy, vegetables, and some fresh meats, which means you'll need to go shopping regularly. After you've decided on all your meals for the week, be sure to go through the ingredients thoroughly and make a list of everything you need. When you go grocery shopping, don't forget anything. Set aside cooking time once a week. Find a couple of hours once a week for meal prep. During this cooking window, you're going to get the more labor-intensive food tasks out of the way. This can include baking a batch of dessert to last the whole week, preparing snacks, or getting time-consuming ingredients ready. Just taking a few hours to do this will make a big difference for you later in the week, when you have less time to spend throwing together weekday meals. Cook in batches. There are many keto options that can be kept in the freezer for weeks. If you don't want to spend one day a week on food prep, you can make larger batches of your favorites and freeze them. That way, later on, you can take your weekly granola bars out of the freezer instead of having to bake a fresh batch. Not all ingredients keep well in the freezer, but many are just fine. Making large batches and freezing food is the most convenient way to do it. Serving size packages. If you've made some snack bars, cut them and package them ahead of time, either in plastic wrap, tinfoil, or in reusable containers. That way you can just grab a single portion of each item as needed without having to package it in the moment. You can take the same approach with sliced keto bread, dessert portions, and ready-made lunches. Things to have on hand. Bone broth. Many soups and stews require broth, as do some other main dishes. The best broth to have on the ketogenic diet is bone broth. Bone broth is rich in protein, nutrients, and natural fat, and is much healthier than store-bought bouillon. Bone broth contains potassium, iron, calcium, and phosphorus, which all support our bone and joint health. Some people even drink it every day as part of their nutrition plan. It's flavorful and has a rich texture. You can use any bones for broth that you want, whether that's a leftover turkey carcass, fish, or buying beef soup bones from the grocery store. Here's a simple recipe. Bone broth. Time, 50 minutes. Serving size, 1 cup. Prep time, 5 minutes. Cook time, 45 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 86. Total carbs, 8.5 grams. Net carbs, 8.5 grams. Fat, 2.9 grams. Protein, 6 grams. Ingredients. Leftover bones, about 4 cups. 1 teaspoon of salt. Water. 3 cloves garlic, whole. 1 onion cut in large chunks. Herbs and spices of your choice, optional. Directions. Place the bones in a large pot and cover with water. Add the garlic, onion, salt, and spices. Bring to a boil over medium-high heat for 1 minute. Reduce heat and simmer for 40 minutes. Remove heat and let cool. Pour through a strainer into a container, removing all the bones, cartilage, and onion. Divide 1 cup portions into sealed containers and freeze for future use. Pasta and rice replacements. One of the hurdles of the ketogenic diet is giving up pasta. Fortunately, there are both store-bought and homemade substitutes. While these are not exactly like the original, they're all yummy replacements that you'll come to enjoy. Most of them also contain far more nutrients than wheat pasta. There are 2 keto noodle options that you can buy from the store. Shirataki noodles are high fiber and low calorie and are made from the root of the konjac plant. These noodles tend to be very filling, just like regular pasta, although preparing them is different. To prepare shirataki noodles, remove them from the package and place them in a strainer. Rinse them in cold water for 2 minutes. Then heat them in a non-oiled pan over medium-high heat. Fry the noodles for 5 to 10 minutes. Transfer them to a bowl and mix with sauce or toppings immediately. Another store-bought option is kelp noodles. These are thin, translucent noodles that are soaked rather than cooked. To prepare kelp noodles, place them in a bowl and rinse them with warm water. Drain and then sprinkle them with 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Cover them with 3 cups of hot water and let them sit for 6 to 10 minutes. Drain and serve. If neither of those appeal to you, there are several ways to make your own noodle replacements from vegetables. You can use these in place of spaghetti in any dish. Just add sauce. Zucchini noodles. Time, 10 minutes. Serving size, 4 to 6. Prep time, 8 minutes. Cook time, 2 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 20. Total carbs, 4.15 grams. Net carbs, 3.11 grams. Fat, 0.22 grams. Protein, 1.5 grams. Ingredients. 4 medium zucchinis, 1 tablespoon olive oil. Directions. Using a spiralizer or vegetable peeler, shred the zucchini into long noodles. A spiralizer is a handy device made just for making zucchini noodles. If you don't have one, peel the zucchini into thin sheets and then slice them into noodles. Drain on a paper towel. Heat oil in a frying pan over medium-high heat. Fry the zucchini noodles for 2 minutes. Remove from heat and serve topped with your favorite sauce. If you overcook zucchini noodles, they turn into a blob of mush, so be careful. It's also important to remove as much water as you can before cooking them. Zucchini noodles are delicious raw as well. Spaghetti squash noodles. Time, 40 minutes. Serving size, 4 to 6. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 30 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 42. Total carbs, 10 grams. Net carbs, 7.8 grams. Fat, 2 grams. Protein, 1 gram. Ingredients. 1 spaghetti squash with the ends cut off and sliced lengthwise. 1 tablespoon melted butter. Salt to taste. Directions. Preheat the oven to 375 degrees. Remove the seeds from the squash and dispose of them. Brush the squash with melted butter and sprinkle with salt. Bake for 30 minutes or until the squash is soft. Let it cool and then use a fork to scrape the squash into noodles. Top with sauce and enjoy. Another thing you might miss on keto is rice. Unfortunately, the real thing is too high in carbs to include in meals. But cauliflower rice is a tasty, healthy, and versatile substitute. The trick to making cauliflower rice just right is to remove as much moisture from it as possible. If there's too much moisture in the rice, it won't have the desired texture. Cauliflower rice is used in some ketogenic bread and pizza crust recipes. The best cauliflower rice for this purpose is some that has been frozen, so you can thaw it and then squeeze out even more moisture out of it. Cauliflower rice. Time, 10 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 3 minutes. Cook time, 7 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 58. Total carbs, 4.15 grams. Net carbs, 1 gram. Fat, 1 gram. Protein, 5 grams. Ingredients: 1 head of cauliflower. Directions: cut the cauliflower into 1-inch pieces, removing the stem. Place the cauliflower in a food processor and chop into rice-sized pieces. Put the cauliflower in a microwave-safe bowl and heat on high for 7 minutes. Do not add water. Remove from heat and pat dry with a paper towel. This is the most bare and basic cauliflower rice. To give it more flavor, melt some oil in a pan with herbs and spices. Fry the rice for 1 minute until warm and serve immediately. If you plan to use the cauliflower rice for baking, freeze it in the desired portion. When you're ready to bake, thaw it out, place the thawed cauliflower on a cheesecloth or clean kitchen towel and wrap it in a ball. Twist the top of the cloth tightly over the ball, squeezing out as much liquid as possible. You might be surprised just how much water comes out, but the drier it is, the more successful your bread or pizza crust will be. Fast snacks. There's always going to be moments when you want a quick nibble or something easy to grab on the go. There are many keto snacks that are easy to make ahead or that are edible in their natural state and require little preparation. Hard-boiled eggs can be made ahead and kept in the fridge for up to a week. Just peel and eat. Store-bought jerky is a good choice because it's high in protein and fat, but be sure to read the package. Some jerky is high in sugar and carbs, so be sure to choose a low-carb option. Nuts are always easy, and you don't have to eat very many to feel full. Keep a can of mixed nuts in your kitchen for a quick snack. Keto protein bars. There are plenty of different brands and flavors of pre-made bars. All the work is done for you. You just have to unwrap and enjoy. Now that you have some of the basics covered for your ketogenic food plan, it's time to dive right into it. In the next chapters, you'll find a wide range of main dishes, sides, snacks, and desserts for every palate. Some of the recipes are extremely simple, and some are more difficult, which means there's something for everyone. If you're new to cooking, start off with some easier options with fewer steps in the instructions. There's also a collection of meatless recipes. Even if you're not vegetarian, sometimes it's nice to take a break from meat. Chapter 7. Main Dishes. We're going to jump right into some main keto dishes. These meals can be eaten for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Just because something seems like it should be for breakfast, such as an egg dish, doesn't mean it has to be. What's important in your meals are nutritional content, personal taste, and macros, not timing. So if you feel like having steak for breakfast, go for it. Chicken dishes. Spiced roasted chicken thighs. Chicken thighs are the fattiest part of the bird, making them an excellent keto option. Serve this simple recipe with salad or any vegetable side dish. Time, 45 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 35 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 380. Total carbs, 0 grams. Net carbs, 0 grams. Fat, 93 grams. Protein, 38 grams. Ingredients: 8 bone-in chicken thighs with skin, ½ teaspoon salt, 2 teaspoons smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon cayenne pepper, optional. Directions: preheat the oven to 375 degrees. In a small bowl, combine the salt, paprika, chili powder, and cayenne pepper. Arrange the chicken thighs on a baking dish. Rub the spice mixture onto each of them. Bake for 35 minutes until cooked through and crisp. Zucchini Alfredo. This creamy Alfredo sauce turns zucchini noodles into a delicious meal. For variety, you can switch out the chicken for shrimp. Time, 40 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 20 minutes. Cook time, 20 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 638. Total carbs, 6.5 grams. Net carbs, 5.3 grams. Fat, 57 grams. Protein, 28 grams. Ingredients: 1 pound boneless, skinless chicken thighs, 2 tablespoons olive oil, 3.5 cups heavy cream, 6 ounces of cream cheese, 3/4 cup grated mozzarella cheese, 3/4 cup grated Parmesan cheese, 3/4 cup butter, 2 minced cloves of garlic, 1 teaspoon dried oregano, 1 teaspoon dried basil, 2 pounds zucchini noodles, or 4 zucchinis cut into noodles, drained. Directions: cut the chicken thighs into 1/2-inch pieces. Heat 1 tablespoon of the olive oil in a pan over medium-high heat and fry the chicken for about 10 minutes, or until cooked through. Remove from the pan and set aside. Melt the butter in a separate saucepan over medium heat. Add the garlic and cook for 5 minutes. Add the cream and bring to a simmer. Stir in the cream cheese and allow it to melt. Add the mozzarella and continue to stir until melted. Repeat with the Parmesan cheese. Add the oregano and basil along with the cooked chicken. Cook for 5 minutes. Remove from heat and cover to keep warm. Heat 1 tablespoon olive oil in the frying pan on medium-high heat. Fry the zucchini noodles for 2 minutes. Transfer the zucchini noodles to the saucepan and mix them with the Alfredo sauce. Serve immediately. Butter chicken. Craving Indian food? This ketogenic version of butter chicken will hit the spot. You can adjust the amount of chili peppers to make it more or less spicy according to your tastes. Time, 3 hours. Serving size, 6. Prep time, 30 minutes. Cook time, 2 hours, 30 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 569. Total carbs, 7.3 grams. Net carbs, 6.1 grams. Fat, 42.5 grams. Protein, 37.2 grams. Ingredients. For the chicken: 2 pounds boneless, skinless chicken breasts cut into 1-inch cubes, 2 tablespoons lemon juice, 1 tablespoon each of ground turmeric, garam masala, and ground cumin, 1/2 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 3/4 cup full-fat plain yogurt. For the stew: 1/4 cup ghee, 1 diced shallot, 2 tablespoon minced fresh ginger, 2 minced garlic cloves, 3 tablespoon tomato paste, 1 cup bone broth. If you don't have bone broth, use chicken stock. 1 1/4 cup whipping cream, 1/4 cup butter, 1 or 2 chili peppers, chopped with the seeds removed, 1 chopped red sweet pepper, salt and pepper to taste. Directions: mix all the chicken ingredients together in a bowl and stir to cover all the chicken cubes. Set aside for at least 2 hours in the refrigerator. Melt the ghee in a large pot on medium-high heat. Add the garlic, ginger, chilies, and red pepper to the pot and fry for 5 minutes. Add the prepared chicken and cook for 10 minutes, stirring often. Stir in the tomato paste, broth, and butter. Allow the mixture to boil for 1 minute and then reduce to a simmer for 15 minutes. Mix in the cream and cook for another 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. Remove from heat and serve alone or with cauliflower rice. Italian chicken casserole. This dish has all the flavor of traditional chicken parmesan without all the work. Leftovers will keep in the refrigerator for up to 4 days. Time, 1 hour 15 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 15 minutes. Cook time, 1 hour. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 545. Total carbs, 12.6 grams. Net carbs, 8.5 grams. Fat, 38.1 grams. Protein, 39.4 grams. Ingredients: 3/4 cup crushed canned tomatoes, 1 teaspoon tomato paste, 1 clove of minced garlic, half a diced shallot, 1 teaspoon Italian seasoning, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/3 cup olive oil, 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, 1 pound frozen green beans, thawed and drained, ½ cup shredded mozzarella cheese, ½ cup shredded provolone cheese, ½ cup shredded Parmesan. Directions: in a saucepan, heat 1 tablespoon olive oil on medium-high heat. Fry the garlic and shallot for 5 minutes. Add the tomatoes, Italian seasoning, salt, and tomato paste. Cook for 15 minutes, stirring occasionally. Remove from heat and set aside. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Place the chicken breasts in a bowl and cover with half the sauce, making sure all the chicken is covered. Place the green beans in a large casserole dish. Pour the remaining sauce over the green beans and mix. Place the chicken breasts and any remaining sauce in the casserole dish. Cover and bake for 30 minutes. Remove from heat and spread the shredded cheeses evenly over the top. Return the dish to the oven and cook until the cheese is bubbly, about 15 minutes. Serve hot. Chicken and prosciutto rolls. This is a variation of the usual stuffed chicken breast in that it's wrapped with crispy prosciutto. You can replace the prosciutto with bacon if you prefer. Time, 30 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 20 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 549. Total carbs, 3 grams. Net carbs, 3 grams. Fat, 31 grams. Protein, 63 grams. Ingredients: 4 boneless, skinless chicken breast, flattened to 1/2 inch thickness with a meat tenderizer. 1 tablespoon olive oil. 2 cloves of minced garlic. 1 cup chopped baby spinach. 1/2 cup shredded Gouda. 1/4 cup grated Parmesan. 8 slices of prosciutto. Directions: preheat the oven to 400 degrees. In a small bowl, mix the garlic, cheeses, and spinach. Divide in 4. Lay the tenderized chicken breast on a tray and put a serving of the cheese mixture inside. Roll the chicken breast up around it. Secure with toothpicks if necessary. Brush the chicken with olive oil. Wrap the chicken breast with 2 slices of prosciutto and place on a greased baking sheet. Repeat with the other pieces of chicken. Bake for 20 minutes or until cooked through and serve hot. Beef dishes. Flank steak roll-up. Flank steak is an inexpensive cut of beef that's high in fat and a perfect fit for ketogenic recipes. These roll-ups make an excellent main dish, or you can slice them and keep them wrapped in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. Time, 30 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 20 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 910. Total carbs, 3 grams. Net carbs, 22 grams. Fat, 65 grams. Protein, 73 grams. Ingredients: 2 pounds flank steak, smashed thin with a meat tenderizer. 16-ounce shredded mozzarella cheese. 1 cup fresh chopped basil. 1 cup fresh chopped parsley. 4 tablespoon olive oil. 2 cloves finely minced garlic. 2 tablespoon Italian seasoning. 2 tablespoon garlic powder. 1/2 cup grated Parmesan. 1 medium tomato, sliced. Directions: preheat the oven to 375 degrees. In a medium bowl, combine 2 tablespoon olive oil with the Italian seasoning and garlic powder. Put the steak in the bowl and coat it with this mixture. Put the steak on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. In a bowl, combine the mozzarella cheese, garlic cloves, and 2 tablespoon olive oil. Spread the mozzarella mixture down the center of the flank steak, then roll the steak up. Place it with the seam side down on the baking sheet. Bake for 10 to 20 minutes until the steak reaches your desired doneness. Slice the roll to make rounds and serve them sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Spaghetti squash with meat sauce. This is a hearty replacement for ordinary spaghetti, loaded with protein and keto-friendly veggies. Leftovers can be kept in the fridge for up to 3 days. Time, 40 minutes. Serving size, 8. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 30 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 361. Total carbs, 8.5 grams. Net carbs, 7.1 grams, fat 23 grams, protein 29 grams. Ingredients: 1 spaghetti squash made into noodles. See Chapter 6. 1 1/2 pounds ground beef, 1 cup sliced mushrooms, 1 sliced zucchini, 1 diced shallot, 2 cloves minced garlic, 1 can crushed tomatoes, 1 tablespoon olive oil, 1 tablespoon Italian seasoning. Directions: prepare the squash to make noodles as described in Chapter 6. While the squash is baking, heat the olive oil in a saucepan on medium-high heat. Fry the shallot and garlic for 5 minutes and then add the beef. Cook the beef until brown, about 8 minutes. Add the mushrooms and zucchini and cook for 5 minutes. Add the tomatoes and spices and bring to a simmer for 10 minutes. Lower the heat and keep the sauce warm while you finish making the spaghetti squash noodles. Separate the spaghetti squash onto serving plates and top with meat sauce. Serve immediately. Slow cooker beef sirloin. Using a slow cooker makes for a tender, juicy roast. Serve this roast with your favorite roasted vegetables and mashed cauliflower for an old-fashioned roast beef dinner. Time: 6 hours, 10 minutes. Serving size: 6. Prep time: 10 minutes. Cook time: 2 to 6 hours. Nutritional facts and info. Calories: 590. Total carbs: 4 grams. Net carbs: 3 grams. Fat: 0.43 grams. Protein: 11 grams. Ingredients: 3-pound sirloin beef roast, 1 tablespoon olive oil, 1 tablespoon red wine vinegar, 2 cloves minced garlic, 1 tablespoon salt, 2 tablespoon fresh chopped rosemary, 1/4 cup fresh chopped thyme, 1/4 cup fresh chopped basil. Directions: in a large bowl, combine all the ingredients except the roast and mix thoroughly. Place the roast in the bowl and rub the mixture all over the roast. Move the roast to a slow cooker. Put any remaining herb mixture on top of the roast. Cook for 2 hours on high or 6 hours on low, or until cooked through. Slice and serve. Old-fashioned meatloaf. Meatloaf is a simple and hearty choice for a busy weeknight meal. Be sure to let the loaf sit for 10 minutes before slicing so it doesn't crumble. Time: 1 hour 10 minutes. Serving size: 12. Prep time: 10 minutes. Cook time: 1 hour. Nutritional facts and info. Calories: 215. Total carbs: 5 grams. Net carbs: 3 grams. Fat: 14 grams. Protein: 17 grams. Ingredients: 2 pounds ground beef, the higher fat ratio the better, half diced onion, 4 cloves minced garlic, 1 tablespoon tomato paste, 2 eggs, half cup almond flour, 2 tablespoon Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon Italian seasoning. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees. In a large bowl, combine the beef, onion, garlic, tomato paste, eggs, Worcestershire sauce, salt, and seasoning. Pour the almond flour over the meat mixture and then use your hands to thoroughly knead it all together. Place the meat in a greased loaf pan and cover with tinfoil. Bake for 45 minutes. Remove the tinfoil and bake for another 45 minutes until the top is crispy. Remove from heat and allow it to rest for 10 minutes before slicing. Cheeseburger bake. This casserole has all the savory goodness of a cheeseburger without the carbs. Once it's cooled, you can freeze leftovers for up to 3 months. Time: 40 minutes. Serving size: 9. Prep time: 10 minutes. Cook time: 30 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories: 479. Total carbs: 3 grams. Net carbs: 2 grams. Fat: 35 grams. Protein: 36 grams. Ingredients: 1 head of cauliflower, riced, see Chapter 1. 1 tablespoon avocado oil, 2 cups cheddar cheese, 2 pounds ground beef, 1/4 cup heavy cream, salt and pepper to taste. Directions: preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Heat the oil in a frying pan over medium-high heat. Add the cauliflower rice and fry, stirring constantly for 5 to 8 minutes. Remove from heat and add the heavy cream and 1 cup of cheddar cheese. Spread this mixture in the bottom of a large baking dish. Fry the ground beef over medium heat until browned. Sprinkle the beef on top of the cauliflower mixture in the baking dish. Bake for 10 to 15 minutes until heated through. Cut and serve. Top with mustard, low-sugar ketchup, or other low-carb condiments. Pork dishes. Pork tenderloin with butter and herbs. This dish is best made in a cast iron pan since you have to sear it and then bake it. And a cast iron pan can go on the stove as well as in the oven. If you don't have a cast iron pan, use a frying pan to sear it and then transfer it to a baking dish before putting it in the oven. Time 40 minutes. Serving size 8. Prep time 5 minutes. Cook time 35 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories 237. Total carbs 1 gram. Net carbs 0 grams. Fat 15 grams. Protein 24 grams. Ingredients: 3 tablespoons avocado oil, 2 pounds pork tenderloin, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon pepper, 4 cloves minced garlic, 1 teaspoon chopped fresh sage, 1 teaspoon chopped fresh rosemary, 1 teaspoon chopped fresh thyme, 1/4 cup melted butter, 1/2 teaspoon garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon onion powder. Directions: preheat the oven to 400 degrees. In a small dish, combine the fresh herbs and garlic. Using a knife, poke holes along the pork tenderloin. Stuff these holes with the fresh herbs and garlic. Rub the salt and pepper all over the tenderloin. Heat the avocado oil in a cast iron pan over medium-high heat. Sear all sides of the pork tenderloin in the pan for 3 minutes and then put the pan in the oven. Cook for 20 to 25 minutes. While the pork cooks, stir the butter, onion powder, and garlic powder together. When the pork is cooked through, let it sit for 5 minutes and then slice it into discs. Pour the butter mixture over it and serve. Bacon and mushroom pork chops. This is an easy single-pan dish that can be served alone or with a vegetable side. Leftovers keep well for up to 3 days in the fridge. Time 30 minutes. Serving size 4. Prep time 10 minutes. Cook time 20 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories 654. Total carbs 6 grams. Net carbs 6 grams. Fat 43 grams. Protein 56 grams. Ingredients: 2 pounds boneless pork chops, 6 strips of chopped uncooked bacon, 2 cloves of chopped garlic, 8-ounce sliced mushrooms, 1 tablespoon olive oil, 1 tablespoon dried thyme, 1/2 cup whipping cream, 1/2 cup bone broth, salt and pepper to taste. Directions: fry the bacon pieces on medium-high heat in a large frying pan until crisp. Remove from the pan and set aside. In the remaining bacon fat, sear the pork chops on each side for about 4 minutes. Remove them from the pan and set aside. Add the olive oil to the pan and fry the mushrooms and garlic for 5 minutes or until mushrooms soften. Add the bone broth and bring to a boil, stirring occasionally. Stir in the cream and then reduce heat to a simmer. Place the pork chops and bacon bits back in the pan and cook over low heat until the sauce has reduced slightly and the pork is cooked through. Serve hot. Stuffed pork loin. This pork loin is stuffed with Havarti cheese and is sure to be a family favorite. Even people who aren't on the ketogenic diet will love it. Time 1 hour and 5 minutes. Serving size 4. Prep time 20 minutes. Cook time 45 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories 1,225. total carbs 3 grams, net carbs 2 grams, fat 38 grams, protein 95 grams. Ingredients: 2 pounds pork loin, half cup olive oil, half cup grated Parmesan cheese, 8-ounce block of Havarti cheese, sliced, half teaspoon garlic powder, half teaspoon onion powder, quarter cup chopped fresh chives, 1 tablespoon Dijon mustard, 1 cup baby spinach. Directions: preheat the oven to 400 degrees, cut the pork loin lengthwise without cutting all the way through, and pull it open. Drizzle the pork loin generously with olive oil. In a large dish, mix the Parmesan cheese, garlic powder, and onion powder. Roll the pork loin in the dry mixture until it's completely coated all over. Put the pork in a greased baking dish and sprinkle with any remaining Parmesan and herb mixture. Lay the spinach inside the pork loin down one side of the cut you made. On top of the spinach, lay the Havarti cheese and sprinkle it with chopped chives. Close the pork loin like a sandwich and secure with wooden toothpicks. Spread the Dijon mustard over the pork loin. Bake for about 45 minutes or until cooked through. Let it sit for about 5 minutes before slicing. Sausage soup. This is a slightly spicy, warming dish that brings comfort on a cold day. If you don't like spice, simply omit the red pepper flakes. Time 30 minutes. Serving size 4. Prep time 10 minutes. Cook time 20 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories 470. Total carbs 3 grams. Net carbs 3 grams. Fat 45 grams. Protein 4 grams. Ingredients: 2 cups chopped kale, stems removed, 1 pound Italian pork sausage, half cup chopped bacon, half cup chopped onion, 2 minced garlic cloves, 2 cups bone broth, 2 cups whipping cream, half teaspoon red pepper flakes, half teaspoon oregano, 1 tablespoon olive oil, salt and pepper to taste. Directions: cut the sausages into bite-sized pieces. Heat the oil over medium-high heat in a large pot. Fry the sausage, bacon, and onion until the sausage is cooked through, about 10 minutes. Pour in the cream, broth, garlic, and pepper flakes and bring to a boil for 1 minute. Reduce heat and simmer for 10 minutes. Add the kale and heat until wilted, about 5 minutes. Serve hot. Breaded pork chops. The breading in this recipe is made from nuts and pork rinds, which is a low-carb replacement for the original. These pork chops can be served with a side of your favorite keto veggie or cauliflower rice. Time, 30 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 20 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 352. Total carbs, 2 grams. Net carbs, 1 gram. Fat, 17 grams. Protein, 47 grams. Ingredients: 4 boneless pork chops, 2 eggs, 6 tablespoon crushed salted walnuts, 6 tablespoon crushed pork rinds, salt and pepper to taste. Directions: preheat the oven to 400 degrees. In a medium bowl, combine the walnuts and pork rinds. In another bowl, beat the eggs. Dip a pork chop in the egg and then pass it through the breading mixture, coating it on both sides. Place on a greased baking sheet. Repeat with all the other pork chops. Bake for 20 minutes, flipping halfway through. Fish dishes. Butterflied bass with kale. Butterflied refers to a certain way of cutting a fish so that it's spread open. When you go to the grocery store, you can request that your fish be cut this way at the seafood counter if you don't know how to do it yourself. Time, 25 minutes. Serving size, 2. Prep time, 15 minutes. Cook time, 10 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 612. Total carbs, 14.1 grams. Net carbs, 9.5 grams. Fat, 54 grams. Protein, 22.5 grams. Ingredients: 1 pound cleaned and butterflied sea bass, 1 clove sliced garlic, 1½ cups tightly packed chopped kale or Swiss chard, stems removed, 6 tablespoon olive oil, 1 tablespoon fresh chopped parsley, 1 tablespoon fresh chopped chives, juice from 1 lemon, salt and pepper to taste. Directions: preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Sprinkle salt and pepper inside and outside the fish. Place the fish on a baking sheet, opened. Pour 2 tablespoons olive oil on the fish. Bake for 20 minutes or until cooked through. While the fish is cooking, heat the 2 tablespoon olive oil in a large frying pan over medium-high heat. Add the garlic and cook for 2 minutes. Then stir in the greens and half the herbs and cook until wilted, about 3 minutes. In a small bowl, combine the lemon juice with remaining olive oil and pour this over the cooked fish. Garnish with remaining fresh herbs and serve with fried kale. Bacon wrapped cod. An easy way to turn lean meats into a ketogenic meal is to wrap them in bacon. You can use any kind of white fish for this recipe. Time 20 minutes. Serving size 4. Prep time 15 minutes. Cook time 30 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories 322. Total carbs 0.7 grams. Net carbs 0.6 grams. Fat 20 grams. Protein 34 grams. Ingredients: 4 cod fillets, 8 slices of bacon, 1 tablespoon melted butter, 2 tablespoon chopped fresh chives, 2 tablespoon chopped fresh parsley. Directions: preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Place the fish fillets in a baking dish and put a tablespoon of chives and parsley on top of each. Wrap each fillet carefully with 2 slices of bacon. Pour melted butter on top of the fish and bacon. Bake for 12 to 15 minutes until bacon is crispy. Serve immediately. Fish and veggie sheet pan dinner. The beauty of this dish is that it's cooked all at once in the oven, making it an easy all-in-one meal. You can switch out the salmon for any meat you like. Just be sure to adjust the cooking time accordingly. Time 30 minutes. Serving size 4. Prep time 10 minutes. Cook time 20 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories 488. Total carbs 10.2 grams. Net carbs 6.7 grams. Fat 36.8 grams. Protein 30.5 grams. Ingredients: 4 skinless, boneless salmon fillets, 2 sliced zucchinis, half a head of broccoli chopped into florets, half a head of cauliflower chopped into florets, 1 sliced shallot, 4 tablespoon olive oil, 1 1/2 cup radishes cut into 1/2-inch pieces, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, 2 tablespoon chopped fresh dill, salt and pepper to taste. Directions: preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Spread the vegetables and dill on a greased baking sheet. Pour 3 tablespoons of olive oil over the vegetables and add salt and pepper. Bake for 10 minutes. Remove from the oven and add the salmon. Pour the remaining olive oil and the lemon juice on the salmon. Return to the oven and bake for 15 minutes or until fish is cooked through. Salmon and tangy cucumber topping. Time 30 minutes. Serving size 4. Prep time 20 minutes. Cook time 10 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories 520. Total carbs 5 grams. Net carbs 3 grams. Fat 41 grams. Protein 1.5 grams. Ingredients: 4 salmon fillets with skin, salt and pepper, 4 tablespoon olive oil, 2 tablespoon rice vinegar, 1 tablespoon Dijon mustard, 1 1/2 teaspoon grated ginger, half a cucumber chopped into 1/4-inch pieces, 2 tablespoon lime juice, 1/2 cup chopped fresh cilantro, 1/2 cup chopped mint, 1 chopped green pepper, salt and pepper to taste. Directions: in a medium bowl, mix 3 tablespoon olive oil with the vinegar, mustard, ginger, and lime juice. Add the chopped cucumber, green pepper, and fresh herbs. Mix thoroughly and set aside. Heat 1 tablespoon olive oil in a frying pan on medium-high heat. Fry the salmon until cooked, about 10 minutes, flipping partway through. Put the salmon on plates and top with the cucumber mixture. Creamy tuna salad. Canned tuna may be low in fat, but when you mix it with the right ingredients, it becomes a high-fat ketogenic lunch. Eat it on its own or put it on keto-friendly crackers. Time, 10 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 0 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 300. Total carbs, 5.7 grams. Net carbs, 1.8 grams. Fat, 26 grams. Protein, 11.8 grams. Ingredients: 1 tin of tuna, drained. 1/4 cup chopped green peppers. 1/4 cup chopped celery. 1/4 cup minced green onions. 1/2 cup diced cucumber. 1 tablespoon olive oil. 1 tablespoon lemon juice. 1/4 cup mayonnaise. 2 tablespoon fresh chopped cilantro, optional. Salt and pepper to taste. Directions: in a medium bowl, mash the avocado with a fork and mix it with the lemon juice. Stir in the mayonnaise and olive oil. Add the tuna, green peppers, celery, green onions, cilantro, and cucumber. Mix well. Serve chilled. Meatless dishes: shirataki and mushroom fry. This creamy noodle dish easily replaces cheesy pasta recipes. You can use any kind of mushroom you like and swap out the cheese for any other hard cheese, such as pecorino. Time, 30 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 20 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 580. Total carbs, 11 grams. Net carbs, 6 grams. Fat, 52 grams. Protein, 15 grams. Ingredients: 4 packages of shirataki noodles, rinsed and drained. 8-ounce chopped mushrooms. 1 cup grated Parmesan cheese. 1 grated aged Asiago cheese. 1 cup heavy cream. 4-ounce cream cheese. 4 cups chopped spinach. 3 tablespoon olive oil. Salt and pepper to taste. Directions: heat the olive oil in a frying pan over medium-high heat and fry the mushrooms for 10 to 15 minutes until they start to brown. Transfer the mushroom to a bowl and set aside. Dispose of the liquid in the frying pan and wipe it dry. Heat the frying pan over medium-high heat and fry the noodles for 3 minutes. Set the noodles aside in a bowl. Heat the heavy cream and cream cheese together in the frying pan on medium heat until melted together. Add the Parmesan cheese and mix until smooth. Stir in the noodles, mushrooms, and spinach. Cook for about 5 minutes until the spinach wilts. Sprinkle the aged Asiago over the top and serve hot. Keto pizza crust. You don't have to give up pizza when you go keto. This cauliflower-based crust will hit the spot when you cover it with cheese and your favorite toppings. In this recipe, the cauliflower rice needs to be thoroughly drained, which is why using thawed frozen cauliflower rice is best. Squeeze the thawed cauliflower through a cheesecloth to really dry it out. Time, 1 hour. Serving size, 8. Prep time, 30 minutes. Cook time, 30 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 48. Total carbs, 4 grams. Net carbs, 2 grams. Fat, 2 grams. Protein, 4 grams. Ingredients: 1 head of riced cauliflower, thoroughly drained. 1 egg. 1/2 teaspoon dried basil. 1/2 teaspoon dried oregano. 1/2 teaspoon garlic powder. 1/2 cup grated mozzarella cheese. Directions: preheat the oven to 400 degrees. In a medium bowl, mix the egg, cauliflower, spices, and cheese until completely blended. On a greased baking sheet, press the dough out into the thickness you want. The thinner you make it, the crispier it will be. Bake for 20 minutes. Load the crust with your favorite toppings and return it to the oven for 10 minutes or until the cheese is bubbling. Cut and serve. Thai noodles and tofu. This dish tastes just like takeout. Kelp noodles are nutritious and filling, providing calcium and iodine. To make this a lighter snack, just omit the tofu. Time, 30 minutes. Serving size 4. Prep time 10 minutes. Cook time 20 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories 654. Total carbs 6 grams. Net carbs 6 grams. Fat 43 grams. Protein 56 grams. Ingredients: 1 block extra firm tofu, 1 tablespoon olive oil, 1 teaspoon sriracha sauce, 3 teaspoon tamari or soy sauce, 12-ounce kelp noodles drained, 2 tablespoon natural unsweetened peanut butter, 1 tablespoon sesame oil, 1 tablespoon water, 1 clove garlic finely minced, 2 tablespoon sesame seeds, 1/4 cup hulled pumpkin seeds, 4 chopped green onions. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Drain the tofu and press out excess liquid. Cut the tofu into half-inch cubes. In a small bowl, combine 2 tablespoons of tamari, olive oil, and sriracha. Dip each piece of tofu into the tamari mix and place on a greased baking sheet. Bake for 25 minutes or until crispy, flipping halfway through. While your tofu is baking, put the kelp noodles in a strainer and rinse well with cold water. Allow them to drain. In a small bowl, combine the peanut butter, 1 tablespoon tamari, sesame oil, water, garlic, sesame seeds, and pumpkin seeds. Fry the noodles for 2 minutes over medium-high heat. Move the noodles to a bowl and add the peanut butter mixture. Toss to cover. Serve topped with chopped tofu and green onions. Veggie frittata. This versatile egg dish can be served for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Keep the leftovers in a covered dish in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. To reheat, just pop a slice in the microwave for 30 seconds to 1 minute. Time, 30 minutes. Serving size, 8. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 20 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 188. Total carbs, 3 grams. Net carbs, 2 grams. Fat, 15 grams. Protein, 11 grams. Ingredients: 1 cup frozen cauliflower florets, 1 cup frozen chopped zucchini, 1.2 cup frozen chopped spinach, 2 minced garlic cloves, 1 chopped shallot, 2 tablespoon olive oil, 8 eggs, 2/3 cups shredded cheddar cheese, 1/4 cup heavy cream. Directions: thaw the vegetables in a sieve and allow to drain. Pat with paper towels to remove as much moisture as possible. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Heat the olive oil in a frying pan. Fry the garlic and shallots for 5 minutes until softened. Add the vegetables and fry for about 5 minutes or until most of the moisture has been cooked away. Remove from heat and set aside. In a large bowl, whisk the eggs and cream together. Add salt and pepper if desired. Pour the egg mixture into a large greased baking dish. Add the veggies and cheese to the egg mixture by sprinkling them on top. They'll sink in as the frittata cooks. Bake for 20 minutes until the center is puffy. Serve hot. Tofu fries. Tofu can be prepared to complement almost any meal and can even make a meal in and of itself. These crispy tofu fries are filling, vegan, and guaranteed to quench the French fry craving. Time, 30 minutes. Serving size, 2. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 20 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 419. Total carbs, 34.3 grams. Net carbs, 2.3 grams. Fat, 38.6 grams. Protein, 21 grams. Ingredients: 1 package extra firm tofu, 4 tablespoon olive oil, salt and pepper to taste, 1 teaspoon chili powder, garlic powder, or onion powder, optional. Directions: cut the tofu block into 1/4-inch thick slices. Place these slices on a clean kitchen cloth. Lay another cloth over the top. Press all the moisture out of the tofu slices. Carefully transfer the slices to a cutting board and cut them into strips the size of French fries. Heat the olive oil in a frying pan on medium-high heat. Add the tofu strips and fry them for about 5 minutes per side or until crispy. While they're frying, sprinkle them with salt, pepper, and optional herbs. If you're doing this in batches, keep each finished batch on a tray in a warming oven until all the tofu is fried. Serve right away with low sugar ketchup or any keto dip. Chapter 8. Side Dishes and Snacks. Ketogenic side dishes can be served alongside a main dish or on their own. Most of the recipes here complement the dishes in Chapter 7. Along with these side dishes are some snacks and nibbles that you can make ahead in batches to keep your body fueled all week. Sides. Keto coleslaw. This version of coleslaw doesn't have the added sugar of many traditional recipes but maintains the zesty crunch. This dish can be taken to barbecues or potlucks and enjoyed by everyone. Time, 25 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 25 minutes. Cook time, 0 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 179. Total carbs, 8.2 grams. Net carbs, 4.8 grams. Fat, 16.5 grams. Protein, 2.9 grams. Ingredients: half a head of green cabbage sliced very thin and chopped, 1 green bell pepper in thin slices, 4 finely chopped green onions, 1 cup mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons whipping cream, 1 teaspoon Dijon mustard, salt and pepper to taste. Directions: combine the chopped cabbage and green pepper in a large bowl. In a medium bowl, stir the mayonnaise, whipping cream, and Dijon mustard together until smooth. Pour the mayonnaise mixture over the vegetables and mix well until all the cabbage and peppers are coated in dressing. Sprinkle the green onions on top. Serve chilled. Turnip fries. Turnips, also called rutabagas, are a staple of the ketogenic diet. Turnips are high in folate, potassium, and magnesium, making them a great addition to any ketogenic meal. Time, 40 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 30 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 80. Total carbs, 4.6 grams. Net carbs, 3.4 grams. Fat, 7 grams. Protein, 6 grams. Ingredients: 2 large turnips peeled and cut into 1/4 inch thick sticks. 2 tablespoons olive oil. Salt to taste. Directions: preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Put the sliced turnip in a large bowl. Stir in the oil, being sure to cover all the pieces. Place the turnip fries in a single layer on a greased baking sheet. Bake for 20 minutes, flipping halfway through until crispy. Serve hot with a low-carb dipping sauce. Fried zucchini rounds. Zucchini is a diverse vegetable that can be made into almost anything: salads, bread, mains, cakes, and even cookies. This simple recipe turns zucchini into a crispy, savory side dish. You can store these in the fridge for leftovers, but they tend to lose their crunch, so it's best to eat them right away. Time, 35 minutes. Serving size, 6. Prep time, 20 minutes. Cook time, 15 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 594. Total carbs, 9.3 grams. Net carbs, 6.9 grams. Fat, 46.4 grams. Protein, 41.6 grams. Ingredients: 4 medium zucchinis cut into rounds about 1/4 inch thick. 4 tablespoons olive oil. 1 1/2 cups crushed pork rinds. 1/4 cup almond flour. 1 cup shredded Parmesan cheese. 2 eggs. Directions: in a small bowl, combine the pork rinds, almond flour, and Parmesan cheese. Beat the 2 eggs together in a medium bowl with a whisk. Heat the olive oil in a frying pan over medium-high heat. Dunk a zucchini round into the egg, then place it in the dry mixture to coat it completely. Place it in the hot frying pan right away. Repeat with the rest of the zucchini until the pan is full, but the pieces aren't touching. Fry the zucchini for 2 to 3 minutes on each side or until the coating is crispy. Do not overcook or the zucchini will be too watery. Place the finished fried zucchini on a pan in a warming oven while frying the remaining zucchini in batches. Serve immediately. Superfood salad. This colorful lemony salad contains micronutrients and vitamins that your body will thank you for. Store leftovers in a sealed container in the fridge for up to 4 days. Time, 20 minutes. Serving size, 8. Prep time, 20 minutes. Cook time, 0 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 280. Total carbs, 4 grams. Net carbs, 3 grams. Fat, 28 grams. Protein, 1 gram. Ingredients: 1 tablespoon coconut oil, 2 1/2 cups fresh, not frozen, cauliflower rice, 2 cups chopped baby spinach, 1 cup diced cucumber, 1 cup chopped cherry tomatoes, 2 chopped green onions, 1/3 cup chopped fresh parsley, 3 tablespoon chopped fresh mint, 1/4 cup chopped fresh chives, 1/4 cup lemon juice, 1/4 cup olive oil, salt and pepper to taste. Directions: heat the coconut oil in a frying pan over medium-high heat. Fry the cauliflower rice for 5 minutes or until warm. Remove from heat and transfer the cauliflower into a large bowl. Add the rest of the vegetables and herbs to the cauliflower and mix. Combine the lemon juice and olive oil and whisk together. Pour over the salad. Toss the salad until all the veggies are covered with the dressing. Serve cold. Miso chicken soup. This is a creative take on traditional chicken noodle soup, adding salty miso for a unique flavor and using zucchini instead of pasta for noodles. Store leftovers in the fridge for up to 3 days. Time, 40 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 30 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 470. Total carbs, 9 grams. Net carbs, 7 grams. Fat, 35 grams. Protein, 31 grams. Ingredients: 3 fresh zucchinis made into noodles or 1 package store-bought zucchini noodles. 6 cups bone broth or chicken stock if you don't have bone broth. 2 pounds boneless, skinless chicken thighs. 1 chopped shallot. 4-ounce thinly sliced shiitake mushrooms. 1 tablespoon finely chopped ginger. 6 tablespoons sesame oil. 4 chopped green onions. Salt and pepper to taste. Directions: chop the chicken thighs into 1-inch cubes. Heat 3 tablespoons sesame oil in a large pot and add the chicken thighs. Fry the chicken thighs, turning occasionally until no pink is left inside, roughly 15 minutes. Add the ginger and miso to the pot and fry for 1 minute. Add the bone broth and vegetables. Cover and reduce heat to medium. Allow the soup to simmer for about 10 minutes. Bring the soup back to a boil and add the zucchini noodles. Cook for 1 minute and remove from heat. Divide the soup into 4 bowls and top each with 1 tablespoon of sesame oil and chopped green onions. Mashed cauliflower. This is a standard keto replacement for mashed potatoes. Although the taste is slightly different, the texture hits the spot. Mashed cauliflower goes well with almost any main and keeps for up to 3 days in the fridge. Time, 25 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 15 minutes. Cook time, 10 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 98. Total carbs, 8.4 grams. Net carbs, 4.8 grams. Fat, 5.5 grams. Protein, 5 grams. Ingredients: 1 head of cauliflower chopped into florets, 1 tablespoon cream cheese, 1/4 cup grated Parmesan cheese, 2 cloves very finely minced garlic, 1 tablespoon olive oil. Directions: steam the cauliflower florets for 10 minutes or until soft. While the cauliflower is steaming, fry the garlic in the olive oil over medium-high heat for 2 to 5 minutes until soft. When the cauliflower is soft, move it to a blender or food processor and puree. Add the garlic, oil, and cheeses to the blender and mix until smooth. Serve warm. Broccoli with cheese sauce. Creamy, savory sauce and crunchy bacon bits make this a side dish you'll want to have for a meal. You can swap out the cheddar cheese for any kind that you prefer. Time, 20 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 5 minutes. Cook time, 15 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 341. Total carbs, 8 grams. Net carbs, 7 grams. Fat, 31 grams. Protein, 9 grams. Ingredients: 6 slices of cooked bacon cut into bits, 1 tablespoon butter, 3 cups broccoli florets, 4 cloves minced garlic, half cup heavy cream, quarter cup grated Parmesan, half cup shredded sharp cheddar cheese, 3 tablespoon chopped chives. Directions: preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Heat the butter in a large frying pan over medium-high heat. Fry the garlic for 3 minutes, then add the broccoli. Fry for 5 minutes. Add the cream and both cheeses and reduce to medium heat. Cook until the cheese is melted. Transfer the mixture to a baking dish and sprinkle with bacon bits. Bake for 15 minutes or until the broccoli is soft but firm. Serve hot. Snacks: simple crackers. Giving up crispy, salty crackers can be a tough thing to do. Fortunately, there are ketogenic crackers that can be made with minimal ingredients. These keto-friendly crackers are good with almost any kind of dip. To store them, keep them in a sealed container at room temperature for up to 1 week. Time, 20 minutes. Serving size, 8. Prep time, 5 minutes. Cook time, 15 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 30. Total carbs, 1 gram. Net carbs, 0.5 grams. Fat, 2.2 grams. Protein, 1.5 grams. Ingredients: 1 cup almond flour, 1 egg, 1 to 2 tablespoon water, half teaspoon salt, half teaspoon garlic powder, cooking spray. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Combine the almond flour, egg, salt, and garlic powder in a bowl and stir with a spoon until it reaches a dough-like consistency. If it's too dry, add a spoonful of water as needed. Put the dough on a greased baking sheet and flatten it out with your fingers. Using a rolling pin, roll the dough out flat to 1/4 inch thickness. Spray the dough with cooking spray as needed to prevent it sticking to the rolling pin. Use a butter knife to cut the dough into squares. Bake for 15 minutes, flipping the crackers over halfway through. Allow to cool completely before serving. Cinnamon nut mix. Nuts are high in fat and protein, while being packed with nutrients, which makes them a perfect keto snack. Store this nut mix in portion-sized containers for up to 2 weeks, so you can grab one whenever you need a quick nibble. Time, 55 minutes. Serving size, 12. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 45 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 230. Total carbs, 6 grams. Net carbs, 2 grams. Fat, 22 grams. Protein, 6 grams. Ingredients: 1 cup almonds, 1 cup pecans, 1 cup walnuts, 2 egg whites, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon cloves, 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg. Directions: preheat the oven to 275 degrees. In a small bowl, mix the egg whites and spices with a fork until fully combined. Put all the nuts in a large bowl and pour the egg mixture over them, stirring until all the nuts are coated. Spread the nuts in a single layer on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Bake for 45 minutes, flipping halfway through. Cool completely before serving. Keto granola bars. These nutty snack bars are an easy substitute for the usual grain-filled granola bars. These will keep at room temperature in a sealed container for 1 week or can be frozen for up to a month. You can replace the peanuts with almonds and the peanut butter with almond butter if you prefer. Time, 20 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 5 minutes. Cook time, 15 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 341. Total carbs, 8 grams. Net carbs, 7 grams. Fat, 31 grams. Protein, 9 grams. Ingredients: 1 cup chopped almonds, half cup chopped peanuts, half cup shelled pumpkin seeds, 1/4 cup granulated erythritol, 3/4 cup sugar-free chocolate chips, 3 tablespoon unsweetened natural peanut or almond butter, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1 egg, half cup shredded unsweetened coconut. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Spread almonds, peanuts, and pumpkin seeds on a baking sheet and bake for 10 minutes, stirring partway through. In a large bowl, combine the nuts and half of the chocolate chips. Stir and allow the chocolate to melt onto the nuts. Once the nuts have cooled, add the coconut and remaining chocolate chips. In a medium bowl, mix the egg, erythritol, nut butter, and vanilla. Press the snack mixture into a greased 8-inch square baking dish. Be sure to pack it down as much as possible with a spoon to ensure the bars stick together when they're done. Bake for 15 minutes. Halfway through, press the mixture down with a spoon again and return to the oven. Allow it to cool completely before cutting into bars. Seed crackers with spinach dip. These seed crackers and spinach dip go great together, but both of them can be served many ways. You can top the crackers with cheese or butter, or you can serve the spinach dip with fresh veggies. Store the crackers at room temperature in a sealed container for up to 1 week. Spinach dip will keep in the fridge for up to 3 days in a covered dish. Time, 2 hours, 5 minutes. Serving size, 15. Prep time, 20 minutes. Cook time, 45 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 160. Total carbs, 8.1 grams. Net carbs, 4.4 grams. Fat, 16.5 grams. Protein, 3.6 grams. Ingredients. For the crackers, 1/3 cup almond flour, 1/3 cup flax seeds, 1/3 cup shelled pumpkin seeds, 1/3 cup sunflower seeds, 1/3 cup sesame seeds, 1 tablespoon psyllium husk powder, 1 cup water, 1/4 cup melted coconut oil. For the dip, 1/2 cup mayonnaise, 1/2 cup full-fat sour cream, 1/2 cup chopped red pepper, 10-ounce frozen chopped spinach thawed and well-drained, 1/4 cup fresh chopped chives, 3 chopped scallions, 2 minced garlic cloves. Directions. For the crackers, preheat the oven to 300 degrees. Bring the water to a boil. Mix the dry ingredients in a large bowl. Pour the boiling water over them and then add the melted coconut oil. Mix with the spoon until it takes on a dough-like consistency. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper and place the dough on top. Flatten the dough as much as you can and then place another sheet of parchment on top. Use a rolling pin to roll the dough between the paper until it's 1/4 inch thick. Remove the top piece of parchment paper and bake for 35 to 45 minutes. Allow to cool completely and then break into cracker-sized pieces. For the dip, place all the ingredients in a blender and mix until smooth. Transfer to a bowl. Cover the bowl and refrigerate for at least an hour to let the flavors mingle. Loaded pork rind nachos. Just because you can't have tortilla chips doesn't mean you can't enjoy the next best thing. Pork rinds give this dish the salty crunch of the nachos topped with melted cheese and salsa, just like the real thing. Time, 1 hour 25 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 15 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 599. Total carbs, 6 grams. Net carbs, 5 grams. Fat, 45 grams. Protein, 41 grams. Ingredients: 1½ ounce pork rinds, 2 cups shredded cheddar cheese, 1 seeded and chopped tomato, half chopped shallot, 1 minced jalapeno or other hot pepper, 1/4 cup chopped green pepper, 1 clove minced garlic, 1 tablespoon chopped fresh cilantro, ½ teaspoon chili powder, 1½ teaspoon lime juice, salt and pepper to taste. Directions. In a medium-sized bowl, combine the tomato, shallot, peppers, cilantro, garlic, and lime juice. Mix and let sit for 1 hour so the flavors can mingle. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Spread the pork rinds in a single layer on a baking foil-lined baking sheet. Spread the grated cheese evenly over the pork rinds and then sprinkle the chili powder over top. Drain any excess liquid from the salsa and spoon it over top of the cheese. Bake for 15 minutes until the cheese is melted and bubbling. Serve immediately. Cheese crisps. These crispy cheese chips can be made with cheddar, Parmesan cheese, Asiago, or mozzarella. They can be eaten alone, with dip, or added to salads for crunch. Time, 10 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 5 minutes. Cook time, 10 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 457. Total carbs, 1 gram. Net carbs, 1 gram. Fat, 38 grams. Protein, 28 grams. Ingredients: 4 cups shredded cheddar cheese, half teaspoon chili powder, half teaspoon garlic powder, half teaspoon paprika. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees. In a medium-sized bowl, toss the cheese with the spices until evenly distributed. Spread the cheese evenly on a greased baking sheet. Bake for 3 to 5 minutes, watching closely until the cheese starts to brown but isn't burned. Remove from heat and use a pizza slicer to cut into squares. Cool completely before serving. Chapter 9. Desserts and Treats. It's a common assumption that while eating a ketogenic diet, you can't have any sweet treats at all. Of course, this is a discouraging thought. The truth is there are many keto-friendly desserts. They just have to be made with the right ingredients. Below you'll find a wide range of sweet treats that even those who aren't keto will enjoy. Desserts. Coconut cream tarts. These sweet tarts are kind of a mini version of a coconut cream pie. If you love coconut and all its healthy qualities, these are the treat for you. Time, 50 minutes. Serving size, 12. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 10 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 174. Total carbs, 7 grams. Net carbs, 3 grams. Fat, 13 grams. Protein, 3 grams. Ingredients: 1 tablespoon coconut oil, 1/4 cup erythritol, half teaspoon vanilla extract, 1 cup coconut flour, 2 eggs, 1/2 cup melted ghee, 1 cup unsweetened coconut cream, 1/2 cup unsweetened shredded coconut. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Grease a dozen-cup mini muffin tin with coconut oil. In a small bowl, mix the coconut flour, eggs, ghee, and half of the erythritol. Press the flour mixture firmly into the bottoms of the muffin cups, forming little shells. Bake for 10 minutes and then remove from heat and allow to cool completely. Carefully remove the shells from the tin. In a small bowl, combine the coconut cream, remaining erythritol, shredded coconut, and vanilla extract. Stir well. Place 1 tablespoon of cream into each pie shell. Chill for 30 minutes before serving. Dark chocolate cherry clusters. Unsweetened baking chocolate is available in squares, chips, and bars. When mixed with a natural sweetener, you have keto-friendly chocolate, and the possibilities are endless. These chocolate clusters will feed your sweet tooth and can be kept in a sealed container, refrigerated for up to 2 weeks. Time, 50 minutes. Serving size, 6, makes 12. Prep time, 15 minutes. Cook time, 0 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 150. Total carbs, 10 grams. Net carbs, 3 grams. Fat, 12 grams. Protein, 3 grams. Ingredients: 4-ounce unsweetened chocolate, 2 tablespoon powdered erythritol, 2 tablespoon unsweetened shredded coconut, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/4 cup hulled pumpkin seeds, 1 tablespoon chopped unsweetened dried cherries. Directions: in a small bowl, mix the coconut, pumpkin seeds, and salt. Melt the chocolate slowly over low heat or in the microwave in 30-second bursts, being careful not to scorch it. When it's completely melted, add the erythritol and stir until smooth. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper. Quickly put 1 tablespoon of chocolate onto the baking sheet and spread it out to a circle about 2.5 inches wide. Make 12 circles of chocolate before it solidifies. Gently press 1 tablespoon of the cherry mixture onto each chocolate circle. Allow to cool completely before serving, approximately half an hour. Peanut butter chocolate balls. There's no combo quite like chocolate and peanut butter. These classic treats will be a hit with everyone and are easy to make. They can be stored in the fridge for a week or frozen for up to a month. The peanut butter can be replaced with almond butter. Time, 2 hours 15 minutes. Serving size, 16. Prep time, 45 minutes. Cook time, 0 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 110. Total carbs, 17 grams. Net carbs, 3 grams. Fat, 11 grams. Protein, 3 grams. Ingredients: 6-ounce unsweetened chocolate, half cup unsweetened natural peanut butter, 1/8 teaspoon salt, 1 cup and 2 tablespoon powdered erythritol, 4 tablespoon butter. Directions: in a medium-sized bowl, mix butter, peanut butter, 1 cup erythritol, and salt until well combined. Cover the bowl and chill in the fridge for 15 minutes. Line a large serving dish with parchment paper. Divide the peanut butter mixture into 16 portions and then carefully form them into balls. Place them on the parchment paper and insert a toothpick into each one. Freeze the balls for 1 hour. Melt the chocolate slowly over low heat, stirring constantly until smooth. Remove from heat. Stir in 2 tablespoons of the erythritol. Using the toothpick, dip the balls in the chocolate to coat them. Let the excess chocolate drip off and place the balls back on the parchment paper. Work quickly so the peanut butter balls don't have a chance to get warm and fall apart. Chill in the refrigerator for half an hour. Remove the toothpicks and serve. Chocolate truffles. It's hard to believe these irresistible creamy truffles only require 4 ingredients. These treats will top up your fat percentage for the day and satisfy your chocolate craving at the same time. These need to be stored in a sealed container in the refrigerator. Time, 2 hours. Serving size, 6. Makes 12 truffles. Prep time, 15 minutes. Cook time, 0 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 184. Total carbs, 12 grams. Net carbs, 2 grams. Fat, 16 grams. Protein, 1 gram. Ingredients: half cup sugar-free chocolate chips, 1 tablespoon butter, half cup whipping cream, cooking spray. Directions: spray a 12-serving truffle mold with cooking spray. Over low heat, melt the chocolate chips and butter. Add the cream and stir until warmed, blended, and smooth. Transfer the mixture to the truffle molds with a teaspoon. Or you can transfer the mixture to a measuring cup with a pourable lip at the top and pour the chocolate into the molds. Freeze the truffles for 30 minutes and then remove from the molds onto a plate. Chill in the refrigerator for 1 hour. Serve cold. Chocolate mint is a flavor combo that many people find irresistible. These chocolate mint squares are great to take to a potluck or barbecue to share. If you prefer, you can try switching the mint extract to orange or vanilla for some different flavors. Time, 30 minutes. Serving size, 12. Prep time, 15 minutes. Cook time, 0 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 247. Total carbs, 18 grams. Net carbs, 3 grams. Fat, 22 grams. Protein, 3 grams. Ingredients: 1 cup sugar-free chocolate, 1 cup almond flour, 8 tablespoon butter, 6 tablespoon whipping cream, 1 drop green food coloring, 1/3 cup powdered erythritol, 1 teaspoon peppermint extract. Directions: in a small pot, melt 4 tablespoons of the butter and chocolate together over low heat. When completely smooth, remove from heat. Add the almond flour and mix thoroughly. Press the mixture into a greased 8-inch square pan. In a small bowl, combine the remaining butter, cream, food coloring, and peppermint extract and beat with a handheld mixer. Stir in the erythritol and beat for a few more minutes until the mixture is smooth. Spread the mint topping evenly over the chocolate base, smoothing the top with a spatula. Chill for 20 minutes and then slice into 12 squares. Keep refrigerated and serve cold. Salty caramel pralines. The combination of nutty, salty, and sweet in these pralines will make you want to eat the whole dish. These are best eaten the same day they're made so they don't become crumbly. Time, 1 hour. Serving size, 8. Prep time, 15 minutes. Cook time, 0 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 149. total carbs 8 grams, net carbs 1 gram, fat 16 grams, protein 1 gram. Ingredients: quarter cup whipping cream, quarter cup granulated stevia, 2 tablespoon butter, 3/4 cup salted pecans. Directions: in a saucepan, combine the cream, butter, and stevia over medium heat and bring to a boil. Once it's boiling, use a whisk to stir it until it's thick, about 5 minutes. Remove from heat and quickly stir in the pecans, making sure all the nuts are coated. Pour the mixture onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper and spread it to an even thickness of 1/4 inch. Let it cool completely before serving. Strawberry ice cream. The ketogenic diet might be one of the only eating plans that allows ice cream. While you can't have the usual store-bought kind, this homemade ice cream is even better because it's fresh and you know exactly what ingredients it contains. You can replace the strawberries in this recipe with other keto-friendly berries or top with nuts and unsweetened chocolate chips. Time, 5 hours, 15 minutes. Serving size, 8. Prep time, 25 minutes. Cook time, 0 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 213. Total carbs, 12 grams. Net carbs, 5 grams. Fat, 20 grams. Protein, 3 grams. 1 cup frozen strawberries, thawed and undrained. 1 teaspoon xanthan gum. 8-ounce cream cheese. 1/4 cup granulated stevia. 1 cup full-fat sour cream. 1 teaspoon lemon extract. 1/2 cup whipping cream. Directions: in a medium saucepan, combine the thawed strawberries, xanthan gum, and stevia. Over medium-high heat, bring to a boil and allow it to thicken slightly. Pour into a bowl and chill it in the refrigerator until completely cooled. In a large bowl, blend the cream cheese, sour cream, whipping cream, and lemon extract with a hand mixer. Beat until fluffy. Stir in the strawberry mixture and pour the ice cream into a loaf pan. Cover and freeze for 4 to 5 hours before serving. If you're having trouble scooping this ice cream, let it sit at room temperature for 5 minutes before scooping. Creamy orange popsicles. This keto-friendly recipe allows you to enjoy a cold summer treat with a healthy twist. You can experiment with flavors by replacing the orange juice with lime, peach, or any favorite juice flavor. Since it's only 1 tablespoon of juice, these popsicles are still very low in carbs. Time, 4 hours, 20 minutes. Serving size, 6. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 0 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 167. Total carbs, 13 grams. Net carbs, 2 grams. Fat, 15 grams. Protein, 2 grams. Ingredients: 1 tablespoon orange juice, 1/4 cup granulated erythritol, 5-ounce full-fat coconut milk, 1 ripe avocado. Directions: combine the avocado, juice, sweetener, and coconut milk in a blender and mix until smooth and thick. Spoon into 6 popsicle molds. Freeze for 4 to 6 hours before serving. Chocolate pudding. Chocolate pudding makes a simple and delicious treat that can be eaten as a snack or as a dessert. This recipe can be stored for up to 3 days in the refrigerator. Time, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Serving size, 6. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 0 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 349. Total carbs, 31 grams. Net carbs, 4 grams. Fat, 34 grams. Protein, 6 grams. Ingredients: 5-ounce unsweetened chocolate chips, 1 cup whipping cream, 2 eggs, 3/4 cup granulated stevia, 4 tablespoon butter. Directions: pour the cream into a large bowl and beat it with an electric mixer until thickened. Put the bowl in the refrigerator. Combine the eggs and sweetener in a saucepan. Add the butter and chocolate and then heat over medium-high heat, stirring constantly until blended and smooth. Remove from heat and allow to cool for about 5 minutes. Pour the chocolate mixture into the whipped cream and stir until well combined. Chill in the refrigerator for about 2 hours before serving. Baking. Mixed berry crisp. This crumbly sweet dessert can be served warm with the side of keto ice cream or topped with whipped cream. Store leftovers in a covered container in the fridge for up to 3 days. Time, 40 minutes. Serving size, 4. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 30 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 167. Total carbs, 23 grams. Net carbs, 6 grams. Fat, 13 grams. Protein, 4 grams. Ingredients: 1 tablespoon lemon juice, 4 tablespoon granulated stevia, half teaspoon xanthan gum, 2 cups mixed berries, fresh or frozen, 2 tablespoon melted coconut oil, 1/4 cup almond flour, 2 tablespoon unsweetened shredded coconut, 1/4 cup sliced almonds. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Put the berries in a greased 8-inch square baking dish. Stir in the lemon juice, xanthan gum, and 2 tablespoons of stevia. In a small bowl, mix the flour, 2 tablespoons of stevia, almonds, flour, coconut, and melted butter to create a crumbly mixture. Sprinkle the flour mixture over the berries as evenly as possible. Bake for 15 minutes or until the top starts to turn brown. Serve warm. Sweet zucchini bread. Zucchini is one of the most diverse veggies out there, making everything from noodles to bread. This recipe makes a bread with a mild level of sweetness, making it great for breakfast or dessert. Slather a slice with butter and enjoy. Time, 1 hour 10 minutes. Serving size, 8. Prep time, 20 minutes. Cook time, 50 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 415. Total carbs, 24 grams. Net carbs, 6 grams. Fat, 39 grams. Protein, 10 grams. Ingredients: 2 cups shredded zucchini, well drained and patted dry. 3 eggs, ½ cup granulated erythritol, ½ cup melted coconut oil, ½ cup coconut flour, 1½ cup almond flour, ½ cup almond milk, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon baking powder, ½ teaspoon cinnamon, 1 cup chopped walnuts. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees. In a large bowl, beat the eggs, sweetener, and melted coconut oil with a hand mixer. Add the coconut flour, almond flour, baking soda, baking powder, cinnamon, and almond milk. Beat until smooth. Stir in the walnuts and zucchini. Pour the batter into a greased loaf pan and bake for 50 minutes. Allow to cool completely before slicing. Keto chocolate cake. Avocado gives this cake its fudgy moist texture and healthy nutrients. Even the icing contains avocado. You can store this cake in a covered container in the fridge for up to 4 days. Time, 1 hour 45 minutes. Serving size, 12. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 35 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 203. Total carbs, 9.3 grams. Net carbs, 4.1 grams. Fat, 18 grams. Protein, 6.7 grams. Ingredients: 1½ ripe avocado, 2 cups almond flour, ½ cup plus 2 tablespoon erythritol, ½ cup plus 2 tablespoon unsweetened cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon baking soda, ½ cup plus 2 tablespoon heavy cream, 2 tablespoon melted coconut oil, ½ cup full-fat plain yogurt, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees. In a large bowl, combine almond flour, ½ cup erythritol, ½ cup cocoa powder, and baking soda. In a separate bowl, mash 1 avocado, add eggs, vanilla extract, ½ cup cream, and yogurt, and mix until smooth. Add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients and stir thoroughly. Pour the batter into a greased round cake pan. Bake for 30 to 40 minutes. While the cake is baking, smash the remaining half avocado in a medium-sized bowl. Add 2 tablespoons of cocoa, 2 tablespoons of erythritol, 2 tablespoons of cream, and 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. Beat with a hand mixer until smooth. Allow the cake to cool completely on a wire rack before icing. Spread the icing in an even layer over the cake with a spatula. Slice and serve. Cinnamon cookies. There's something special about the smell of cinnamon. It's homey, cozy, and mouth-watering all at the same time. While you're baking, these cookies fill the kitchen with the aroma of comfort. They're also delicious, and you'll want to keep coming back for more. Time, 45 minutes. Serving size, 18. Prep time, 25 minutes. Cook time, 20 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 114. Total carbs, 7 grams. Net carbs, 1 gram. Fat, 11 grams. Protein, 4 grams. Ingredients: 2.5 cups almond flour, 4 tablespoons coconut oil, 1/3 cup granulated stevia, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon water, 1 teaspoon ground ginger, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon ground nutmeg, 1 teaspoon baking soda. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees. In a large bowl, mix the coconut oil, water, and egg. Beat them together with an electric mixer. In a medium bowl, stir together the stevia, almond flour, baking soda, and spices. Add them to the wet ingredients and blend until smooth. Divide the dough into 18 balls, roughly 2 teaspoons in size. Arrange them on a greased cookie sheet. Bake for 15 minutes or until slightly browned. Remove from heat and allow to cool before eating. Cheesecake brownies. This recipe combines 2 of the yummiest desserts, cheesecake and brownies. You can make these to share at a get-together because everyone will love them, regardless of whether or not they're on a ketogenic diet. These are best served completely cooled for the best texture. Time, 1 hour. Serving size, 8. Prep time, 25 minutes. Cook time, 35 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 320. Total carbs, 21 grams. Net carbs, 2 grams. Fat, 29 grams. Protein, 6 grams. Ingredients: 8-ounce cream cheese, 3 tablespoon granulated stevia, 1/4 cup erythritol, 4 eggs, 2 teaspoon vanilla extract, separated, 1/2 cup sugar-free chocolate chips, 8 tablespoon butter. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees. In a medium saucepan over low heat, combine the butter and chocolate chips. Melt gently until completely smooth. Remove from heat and set aside. In a large bowl, beat 3 eggs, erythritol, and 1 tablespoon of the vanilla extract with an electric mixer until fluffy. Pour the melted chocolate into the egg mixture and continue to blend. Pour this mixture into a greased 8-inch square baking pan. In a medium bowl, combine the cream cheese, 1 egg, stevia, and 1 tablespoon of the vanilla. Thoroughly blend. Pour the cheesecake mixture on top of the chocolate batter. Use a butter knife to swirl the layers together, creating a swirled, marbling effect. Cover the dish with tinfoil and bake for 35 minutes. Let the brownies sit for 10 minutes before slicing. Then, let them cool completely before serving. Cinnamon rolls. This old favorite is fluffy, sweet, and low in carbs. Cinnamon rolls can be a breakfast or a dessert and go particularly well with hot coffee or tea. You can store these in a sealed container for up to 4 days. Time, 45 minutes. Serving size, 15. Prep time, 10 minutes. Cook time, 25 minutes. Nutritional facts and info. Calories, 175. Total carbs, 5 grams. Net carbs, 2 grams. Fat, 15 grams. Protein, 6 grams. Ingredients: 1/4 cup granulated stevia, 3 tablespoons coconut flour, 3 cups almond flour, 1/4 teaspoon baking soda, 2 teaspoons cinnamon, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons sugar-free maple syrup, 2 eggs, 1/4 cup melted coconut oil, plus 1 tablespoon. Directions: preheat the oven to 350 degrees. In a medium bowl, stir together both flours and the baking soda. In a separate bowl, thoroughly blend the vanilla extract, maple syrup, eggs, and coconut oil. Combine the dry and wet ingredients, forming a ball of dough. Refrigerate for 10 minutes. Mix the stevia and cinnamon together in a small bowl and set aside. Lay parchment paper on the counter and place the dough on top of it. Press it down with your fingers and then put another piece of parchment on top. Roll the dough out into a rectangle that is no more than a half an inch thick. Discard the top piece of the parchment paper. Brush the dough with remaining 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. Sprinkle the dough generously and evenly with the stevia and cinnamon mixture. Starting at one end of the dough, carefully roll it into a log shape. Wrap it tightly in the parchment and refrigerate for another 10 minutes. Slice the log into 15 rounds and place them on a greased baking sheet. Bake for 20 to 25 minutes. Cool completely before serving. Conclusion. Now you're ready to start a new journey to health and wellness. You've learned the science behind the ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting, so you understand how they work with the rhythm of your body. You're informed of all the side effects that could occur and how to deal with them. You know how to ease your way into a new way of eating and what to do if you hit a stumbling block. Plus, you have a whole cookbook of recipes to support you. Hopefully, when you hit a bump in the road, you'll come back to this book and be able to find guidance. Remember that everyone's journey is different and that not everything in this book will be what works perfectly for you. Maybe you'll discover that you love the ketogenic diet, but that fasting isn't your thing, or even vice versa. Maybe you'll find that keto is the best decision you've ever made, or maybe it will be a temporary part of your life. Either way, you're ready. As you go forward, here are a few thoughts to keep in mind. Be gentle with yourself. If you make a mistake or encounter a struggle, just let it go and bring yourself back to your plan. Consistency is the key to success, but so is loving yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy. Remember that just because someone else appears to be thriving doesn't mean you're somehow falling short or failing. You will also have your moments of confidence and pride. Trust yourself to do what's best for your own health and stick with it. When you listen to your body and trust your own mind, you will end up exactly where you should be. Embrace your whole experience. Staying positive and maintaining a hopeful outlook is great, but no one is dancing with joy at all times, despite what social media will have you believe. When you have bad days, sit with your feelings and let yourself experience them. When you do this, you're honoring yourself and learning how to process the things standing in your way. You're far more likely to succeed if you get to know your whole self. Now dive in and embrace your new beginning.